Is it on?
We're alive.
We are live. We made it.
Barely.
Liz is already laughing. We had some jokes before this.
Buy one, get one free.
It's
Everything. We've got over 680,000.
What's that?
Sorry. My
Seriously.
My bad.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. Welcome to Comedy Cellar 2020 recap show. This is Hatem. I'll be the host for this amazing night with HBO crashing and America Got Talent semifinalist comedian Dan Naturman and Liz Friatti. She's always here. She's the GM from the Comedy Cellar, and she'll be also running the chat. And if you've never been here before, the chat is actually as much fun as the show, you know? So just don't be scared. Like, we love if you ask us question, ask Liz question, just keep her busy.
Keep me busy? What does that mean?
Just
you drive me crazy.
We love to hear from people. So Liz is there for you. Anything that you want, Liz is there for you. And Noam Dworman will join us later, maybe like in an hour or something. He have something to do, and they'll be back. But
just tell everyone what he's doing. Tell everyone what Noam is doing.
I haven't figured out. I think he's raising money to get vaccine for people.
There you go.
And by people, I mean his family.
And staff.
Yeah. So sit back and relax. We'll have a great night, great comedians. Right, Dan? How about the lineup tonight?
It's some lineup.
We have amazing show for you. So
I don't know if it's a better lineup than the election show, but it's probably on par.
Oh, I think it's definitely better, you know, because first of all, we have old comedians, you know, we have some great names: Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, Jeff Ross, Judy Gold. I don't want to forget everybody. Kurt Metzger, you know, so many people.
Like Vecchione, Jay McBride. I don't know who else. I can't.
We don't have all the eggheads that we had on the election show. We don't have the intellectuals.
Yeah. But the election show was a great show too. But I think both will be great. But this one, I think it's gonna be Liz.
Epic! It's gonna be epic. Epic.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So before we start the show, we gotta get the first comedians in like a couple of minutes. You know. But I want to ask you guys first: is that the worst year ever for you both? Where you rated?
I wouldn't.
So not all of everybody have a bad year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead, Liz.
No, Naturman, please go ahead.
I would say freshman year of college was probably probably worse for me than this year was certainly not great, but I in my life it probably was not the worst. I would say freshman year of college, which was 87, 88.
I think we all want to know now why you're freshman.
Yeah,
I think we all want to know why.
All 4 years of college were bad, but freshman year was particularly bad because I was just very depressed, and I never really found my groove or my social circle or anything, and it was.
Where did you go to undergraduate?
University of Pennsylvania.
And that was
one particularly low moment where I masturbated in the student lounge. In that.
Oh my God! I'm never getting that picture out of my head. Thanks.
Well, that's your problem.
This is crazy. Yeah, and that was worse than this.
I think so, but this year was obviously not great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we let the first comedians in, we have the first 3 comedians on in a minute. I just want to share why I wanted to do this recap show because I've been.
Please.
Yeah. First is to piss off Liz. You know, that's the number one reason. But the number 2 is like every time I watch a recap show, like or whatever, it's just full of like all the bad events that happen, which is important to acknowledge and recap. But also we're not recapping, you know, what we learned, what we didn't reflect. Like a lot of people just going with the flow, like whatever happens. So I thought like sense of humor when they cover this, these events will make us more aware of how we really feel. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I tell, by the way, you've had some rough years. Was this your worst? My guess is it was not.
Well, I guess no, it's not worse. Actually, it could be, you know, because it could work for both. You know, like in the beginning of the year, you know, it was bad, and then I got the surgery.
No, what January? So for you, January, February were bad.
Yeah, but then after
then March. So like, even though it was a global pandemic, and even though we were all wallowing in our own misery, you really actually had probably the best year that you could have
because
had.
I was gonna die and I didn't die. But anyway, let's not bring the mood down. Let's bring the first 3 comedians in. If you're ready to to admit them. We have. Are you ready for this? The first three comedian. We're coming up later. Colin Quinn, Jim Norton, Judy Gold, and Jeff Frost. But now we have Sherrod Small from VH1 Best Week Ever, Red Eye, Jimmy Kimmel's show. We have Marina Franklin from her own comedy special, Single Black Female, and her podcast, Friends Like Us, and comedian Gregg Rogell from The Tonight Show, Conan O'Brien, Louis, and half-hour special on Comedy Central. What's up, guys?
Hi.
There you are.
Marina. Look at Sherrod.
Is Rogell here? Oh,
There's Rogell. Hey, Rogell.
What's happening? Sherrod, where are you?
Who are you talking to?
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
What's up? So, so in this part, Sherrod, can you? We all want to see your hand. There you go.
Can you unmute yourself, Sherrod? Is this your first Zoom show?
Unmute.
Thanks.
Sherrod, you do like a million shows.
That's the first one that I didn't care about.
So, what's up, Marina? Gregg Rogell, Happy New Year coming up soon.
Yeah.
So if we talk about, we were talking about if this was the worst year ever for Naturman and Liz and myself a little bit,
just you three.
Before you got in. So now the question is for you.
The entire fucking planet, dude. This is the worst year for everybody on the planet.
Not everyone. Amazon had a great year. Netflix people.
Right. Yeah, a couple of tech billionaires had a good year.
Yeah. Marina had a good year.
Yeah. Marina had a good year putting together Keeps Friends page on Facebook.
That was the highlight. Yes,
I sent
you're
Keith
right.
Robinson our prayers, and I sent him the link to this, so maybe he's watching. So hopefully we are.
I doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see. So
where's Noam?
Noam's coming later. So
he's in line for the vaccine. He'll be a little late.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No.
But yeah, okay, I was gonna say, what is it? It's like it's doctors and then club owners.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
No, it's doctors then Israelis.
Then whites.
Yeah.
And then Sherrod.
That's right.
Sherrod gets Kool-Aid.
Sherrod's vaccine is rolled into a blunt.
So if we talk about like the beginning of, before like 2020, like a couple of months before that, do you even guys remember how things were?
Oh yeah.
Really? I can't even like imagine the feeling of that. I don't know. But a lot of people didn't see it coming, except one person that I know that saw it coming, and she's here. And I didn't believe her until we went back to her podcast and listened to back in the day when she said it.
She's seen a lot of things coming over the years. She got this one right.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Dan Naturman? Are you saying that I'm paranoid?
I thought we were talking about Liz Furiati. It's you're the one that saw it coming?
No,
Yeah.
I think Marina and Noam were the two that
I saw it coming. Yeah.
Noam also saw that the smoking ban would ruin bars and restaurants, and that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I saw the toilet paper shortage coming. I knew that was going to happen. The day Trump was elected, I knew we were going to run out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Noam also thought he would grow out of his Asian fetish, and that didn't happen.
Oh my God.
Oh, who else is watching this Zoom?
Wow. Sherrod.
So Marina, when did you see it coming? When did you feel it was happening?
I know. I saw this coming in November of 2015.
What? Marina, you just a scared church folk. Who was fighting from a pandemic in 2000? You were scared of Trump's election.
I just didn't like when people coughed, and I paid attention for years.
But you're a germaphobe.
Asians, right? Because they were the first coughers.
Oh, well, no, everyone coughs to me. Everyone.
But when an Asian coughed around you, didn't you get funny when you goes on that subway? They cough right next to you?
Never. Mm-mm.
Lies.
No, I never. My paranoia about coughs is non-gender, non-color specific. It's everyone.
The first thing that this pandemic did to me and the coverage on it was made me act funny towards Asians because they blamed them first.
Well, I'll tell you, for people that pride themselves on wearing surgical masks, they really dropped the ball.
Yep.
Actually, they did pretty good though in New York City, in their areas.
Was you hear how you talking? That's what do you mean their areas?
Don't be
Chinatown?
putting that on me. I'm not saying what you're saying. I just said in their area. They got their areas.
I think overall, New York has done great overall. I think clearly New York is the smarter of the states. Because we've actually, people actually follow directions here. I mean, for the most part, I mean,
I know.
Sherrod wants me to not like Asians for some reason.
No, I want you to be honest with yourself.
I don't. I love Asian people.
I love Asian people too.
I slept with one.
I also tease them. I teased them and blamed it on them, my friends who are Asian, and we laugh like Steve Burns. But also, I see that the Asian countries actually treated this better than everybody else.
Right. Yes.
It's like they shut down South Korea. Was probably one of the best countries to handle this.
Yeah, I absolutely blame Trump for muddying the waters as far as wearing a mask and being socially distant. I mean, pushing these ridiculous conspiracy theories. I mean, this pandemic and this administration has really exposed us as a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah. They're not doing that much better in a lot of Europe. I mean, they're doing somewhat better, maybe.
Yeah, you know what? But that the seed of doubt, the mistrust of the CDC, it was planted right here in Washington D.C. The leader of the free world should coordinate this, and he should have everybody on the same page, and he should act like a fucking leader. To this day, right now, he's still tweeting about how the election was stolen from him while over 300,000 people are dead. So, I mean, this country has really, Trump has really fucking taken this country down many fucking notches. I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic how we respond.
I'd like to see Gregg Rogell on the Senate floor.
With a sniper rifle?
Well, however you want to do it, Greg. I want to see it. I want to see the speech first.
I've been livid since March over this. It's fucking ridiculous. Four of my friends died. Three very close friends of mine died. It's fucking, it's outrageous. You know what I mean? I had 3 fucking wakes. I had a Zoom wake, and then I had 2 regular wakes. I only went to one because anybody else gone to a wake during a pandemic? You know how fucking stressful a wake is?
I was supposed to go to a wake today, and I was like, nope.
No, everyone's going to try to hug you. You know how hard it is to not hug people at a fucking wake? It's like,
Greg.
Sorry for your loss.
Okay.
Don't touch.
Yes. Let me tell you something. So I had a tragedy in my family this past week, and the aunt that I'm talking to saying that the whole family wants to attend the funeral. She's 75, and I'm like, and she's so sweet, and she's like, they just want to hug me. And I'm like, no, this is not funny. And we need to get you like a K95 mask, a scarf, security, because first of all, you shouldn't be having the funeral. But if you must have the funeral, nobody should be hugging you. And she's like, everyone's like, oh, come on, auntie, I love you. That conversation is happening 1,000 times. And that's why we're in this mess too.
Yeah.
So
I do want you to have that funeral, the funeral home.
Who?
The funeral home. They still pushing it. Why are they even allowed to have people congregate?
Yeah, it's true.
Because the level of ignorance in this country is off the charts. I mean, if you look at certain states, just watching football, like New York, there's nobody in the stadium. You watch a Dallas Cowboy game. They have 30,000 people in those stadiums.
Ignorant.
It's absolute fucking ignorance. It's
Rogell,
and it starts at the top.
No, but what did you think that Cuomo said? The Buffalo Bills, they want to have like 6,500 people in, COVID test everyone on the way in, and then contact trace on the way out.
Yeah, I have no real issue with that. But 30,000 people compared to 6,500 people, it's a big difference.
Yeah,
I mean, you can spread people
and
out.
Let's talk about contact tracing. I know people who had COVID who are like, I got to go to the store. No one's doing the contact tracing correctly.
Nobody's doing it correctly. And even more surprisingly, how does Gregg Rogell have 4 to 5 friends that could die? I didn't know he had that many friends.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm certainly less one friend now. I'll tell you
that. When I came back from Aruba, they told me I had to quarantine for 2 weeks, but they didn't enforce it. All they did is I got a text saying, press C, literally press C if you're quarantining today. And I would press C and text back. But that was the extent of their you can do whatever you want. Suggestion,
that wasn't from being in Aruba. That was just being around Ray Allen.
Ray Allen, yeah.
That was.
They didn't enforce it.
So I wonder, are you guys gonna take the vaccine if it comes when it comes out for the regular people? Rogell?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course. No. First of all, if that vaccine came sprayed up my ass with a fucking leaf blower,
what if they call it the Trump vaccine?
Anybody who refuses to take the vaccine is just a fucking moron. You really want to?
Well, no, there's some legitimate.
And fuck you with the goddamn conspiracy. Bill Gates is not planting a microchip into people so he can track him, and this is not political. It's not political. This is a self-esteem issue. I don't feel like my daily habits warrant the attention of a fucking billionaire.
But there is some legitimacy towards in the Black community to have mistrust. They have a lot of mistrust.
Of course
I've had these. Let me finish this. I've had so many conversations with people that I know who are smart, who you read books, and they just are like, if you're going to talk about the vaccine, you better have that conversation also about the Tuskegee experiment, about the lack of trust. Let me finish this statement about the lack of trust that we have with white doctors. You cannot have one conversation. You have to have both conversations to get the Black community to get this vaccine.
You know how to make white people feel as fearful as Black people? Make them go to Harlem to get their shot.
That's right.
Make them have to go to the hood to get their shot. Well, I'm not taking the hood shot. I'm going where the white people go. But if you feel so confident about it, go to Bed-Stuy and get your shot.
Because a lot of people don't believe that the vaccine that reaches the Black community is going to be the same vaccine. They think it's going to be
just straight up Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's right. When you trust that much, go where the hood gotta go, and I bet you have your doubts.
I ain't drinking that Kool-Aid.
Well, it's the same thing nationally. I think a lot of countries don't want to take any vaccine but the American vaccine. I mean, I think the one thing that you don't want to take in a vaccine that say made in China is a vaccine, right? Like other than that, you will take. Like,
well, I don't trust the FDA right now during this administration. You know, I'd be more comfortable to after January 20th to have the FDA approve it, because
if you go to your
right now
doctor,
we're dealing with a bunch of Trump sycophants.
If you go to your doctor and they say, hey, we ran out of the vaccine, but we got some shipped in from Compton, some of theirs. So here you go. You ain't taking that shit.
By the way, just to defend the United States, I mean, you'll be happy to know that people are just as stupid everywhere in the world, or as distrustworthy, or as conspiracy theory minded, because in France, only 40% of people polled say they would likely get the injection, saying it's either unsafe or
this is another place France is a place of haves and have-nots, so it makes sense where people are disproportionately.
I had to go to India, and I had to go to Nairobi and South Africa, and I had to get like 9 different vaccines on the same day for like these horrible diseases. Yeah. And I went right. I did it. There was no issues at all.
Do you know what vaccine?
We have no choice. What's the alternative?
No, you got to take it. No, Greg, you got to take it. But I'm telling you why you're comfortable with it. I'm not
comfortable with any of this. I'm not comfortable with any of this, Sherrod. What I'm telling you is you have no fucking choice. Either take the goddamn vaccine or don't go out or don't leave your fucking house. There's no goddamn choice. I agree with you. I don't trust the government either. And if I were Black, I'd be even more mistrusting of the government. But the fact of the matter is, we have no fucking choice. This country needs to get back and rolling again. You need to take the goddamn vaccine and take your fucking chances, because you're going to die anyway. You're going to die if you don't fucking take it. And I'm not talking about from coronavirus. I'm talking about just being in goddamn lockdown.
Yeah. You know? I think we're all in agreement here that Noam should take the vaccine first, and then we all wait. And then
you got to understand why people are apprehensive. And different communities got they different reasons to be, and those are valid reasons to them.
Yeah. That's why it's all about the messaging. They never they fucked up this messaging from the beginning.
Damn right.
The fact that in March we were just then thinking about whether or not we should get on the subway is ridiculous. This was out. We knew this was out in Wuhan. I knew.
A lot of poor people live in America, live in food deserts, don't have the proper medical coverage way before a pandemic. Yep. And now you're trying to tell them to trust the same people who kept that shit away from them.
We put them in NYCHA. Let's look at NYCHA housing and ask, do you really expect those people to trust the people in charge? Look at how they live.
Fuck them for generations.
So you've got to get that messaging correct. Black people in the community have to get behind this vaccine in the way and the messaging in the way that can really help in the churches. In the churches, it works. In the barbershop, it works. In places where the Black community has these conversations, that's how you get this vaccine to people.
No, what you got to do?
I think the vaccine should be in all Black barbershops. I think that's the way to go with that.
What they need to do is be transparent and let us know that the same ones that we're receiving is the same ones they receiving in Beverly Hills.
So
that's what they need to do. We don't know that.
You know how they do casting
now? Do you know that?
Colorless casting, when the director don't see the actor if they're Black or white. They should do the same thing with the vaccine.
But they don't, Hatem. They know where they shipping these things to. So I don't want to get the busted one or the ones that's at the bottom of the warehouse. The last shit shipped out because they already sent the white communities. It's a lot of shit that is in the way of this vaccine.
Or the one at the bodega.
Don't get vaccinated at Target. Don't go to Target to get the vaccine.
Don't get that bodega vaccine.
That's right. I don't want to get mine with coke.
What about you, Liz? Are you going to take the vaccine, Liz?
Oh, hell yeah. I told Keith Robinson to tell people that I was his home health aide so I could go up on the list. I am like, I will, whatever. I'm ready. I don't care. I'll go wherever to get it. I'm ready.
Let's say who shouldn't get this vaccine. All celebrities out. Celebrities, entitled people, all these people who didn't believe, they shouldn't be the first ones.
Yeah, Republicans should be in the back of the fucking line on this one. Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
They're the problem. They've been the problem for 4 years.
They're human beings. It's the same thing if you say then.
Which some of them are human beings. All of Trump's staff, none of them died from coronavirus. You know why? Because you need garlic and holy water to take those fucking people. Or you got to drive a stake into the heart of Rupert Murdoch, and then the rest of them just fall like fucking dominoes. Let's not call all of them human beings.
I think, I don't know. I think it should be fair to any country, any race, any religion, anybody. You should have it if you want to, No,
we're talking about who gets it first, though.
I'm telling you, I'm going to take it, but I'm going where all the rich white people go.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
if it makes a difference, then that's on you. Go to Bed-Stuy. Go to Compton. I know what they do to our communities. So I don't go there to get it. Because I don't trust.
If I could get a vaccine in Bed-Stuy and they were offering it, I'd go right now. I don't care.
Of course you would, because you're white and you haven't had to live in NYCHA houses.
Rod just said that if I go to Bed-Stuy, that will show bravery. So I'm just saying I'm willing.
Yeah.
To
For so many reasons, Naturman, and I'll see you at your funeral.
Shit, I'll go to Bed-Stuy to buy weed. I don't give a fuck.
Weed and vaccine are two different things.
The fact is that none of us are probably getting it before the spring.
That's right.
Given our priority, so it does.
Yeah.
I can get it.
Oh, you should have it. Like
I'm not gonna get it yet.
Why?
There's not enough study for my condition.
Hatem's waiting for a Saudi prince to take it first.
You had COVID. You must have some degree of immunity already, or probably just as good immunity as the vaccine would provide.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had COVID too back in the spring.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
had COVID. You had COVID. You were positive. Then you tested negative. Then you tested positive again, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're fucked.
I got it twice. I get anything, like any disease that's out there now. I'm the first one.
Well, the second time around, were you incapacitated for a while, or was it more asymptomatic?
No, it was. I didn't feel anything.
You didn't feel anything.
The second time was very easy. Yeah, the first time.
Even a lot of times, it's the same bout with the disease, but it just didn't show up on the test.
No, because I had 3 tests negative in the middle for a period of a month and a half. But they're not sure what is it exactly. But the first time I had the Remdesivir, I was in the clinical trial,
Yeah.
So that helped a lot.
Remdesivir.
Yeah. So
the tests aren't reliable. I mean, you can't trust anything. You can't even trust hand sanitizer in Trump's America. There's like 130 different brands of hand sanitizer are toxic, and nobody really speaks about that.
I enjoy the smell. I like Purell.
Yeah, I came out with my
I
own.
haven't seen
actually.
Purell in a long time, and I'll tell you, Clorox and Lysol have a lot of nerve having commercials on television.
I have a question. What's
tease
up with?
It says it's Purell,
funny
but
you
it isn't. When I spritz it on, and I smell it, I'm like, that ain't Purell. You're putting bullshit.
I actually came
Mine
out with
smells
all
like
this stuff coming
tequila.
out. With all
Mine
this stuff
It
coming
does.
out.
It does smell like tequila. I
Yeah,
think
mine
it's
smells like
own
tequila.
methanol or something like that.
Greg actually made my own hand sanitizer because of the ones that's out. That's more, for my kind of skin. It's called Cocoa Ale. It's cocoa butter and Purell.
Oh, I got liter bottles of alcohol in my cabinets. I'm just
Oh yeah, I have so much alcohol. I was one of the ones who, since the beginning of this, I've always been kind of ahead of this. So like when people were relaxing over the summer, I was buying alcohol. I was like, I know this second wave is coming.
So
I got stuck. Once it took months for me to finally get my hands on some alcohol. I was at the end of the line on cleaning products.
So let me ask you this:
They finally got some disinfectant at my supermarket like 2 months ago. I mean, again, this country has really been exposed as a second-rate fucking country.
So
I had alcohol, rubbing alcohol, but I used it all to clean the tracks on my racing set.
So when I was in the hospital the first 3 months, so I came out in, I think, May. No,
Let us laugh for a second here.
I came out like May. And the one thing that everybody's saying is like, so imagine I've been out, I didn't know anything about COVID or whatever's going on for all this time in the hospital. I come out and everybody's saying there is no toilet paper. What the fuck? Why was there no toilet paper? Like, what was that the big thing?
It's an American thing, Hatem, because that's one of the first things we grab. We grab toilet papers, we grab bread. Because if you run out of toilet paper, you can wipe your ass with Wonder Bread.
Well, actually, that actually saved my life because I probably would have hung myself around June, but I needed the rope to wipe my ass. So
that's good. So if you want to promote the vaccine, does anybody have an idea? It's like if you want to promote it?
Yeah, you want to target a short attention span because that's how this country operates. Just Pfizer out pizzas the Hut. I think that's all you have to say, and half of this country would get the vaccine right there.
So we should feel safe taking the vaccine. That's why I'll take the ones that the NBA players take because they're the most expensive niggas in the country, and nothing's gonna happen to them.
Well, if you tell men that to avoid erectile dysfunction, you need to take this vaccine, it'll be taken. Trust me.
You see, I like that.
I like Sherrod's idea too. You can actually give out the vaccine with like tickets to a Knicks game. Like to enter the stadium, you got to take the shot.
Yeah.
We that's what I think we need. We need vaccine commercials. Everybody should do a vaccine.
To all the men I love, if you want to maintain a hard one, please take this vaccine.
Do we know where they take it? Is it in the arm or where?
It's in the arm.
Yeah.
It's not in the penis.
Greg, how would you
That's where they're taking it
to Jewish people?
What was that?
How would you promote the vaccine to Jews?
How would I would round them up. I mean, what kind of a question is that? How would I promote
I know. It's like,
I'll tell you something. A lot of the ultra Orthodox Jews.
Yeah,
here,
Orthodox. That's what I mean.
They were like they didn't want to socially distant. They didn't want to. I gotta be. The ultra Orthodox Jews and the white supremacists are the exact same people, just different hats. That's the only fucking difference between these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that you literally said hats because it makes it really, it's really a hat.
How would you do it, Naturman?
How would I market it?
What's going to really be interesting
Jewish
is
people
when they start forcing
vaccine.
people to take it. They
What?
start forcing people to take the shot.
Dan, I didn't hear you.
And
How
that's
would you
going to be
market?
interesting.
I'd be saying,
Because here's how they do it. Here's how they do it. If you
Naturman throw his voice like that.
if you live in public housing, they might make it mandatory for you to take a shot.
That's right.
If you're incarcerated, they might make it mandatory for you to take a shot.
Yeah.
So even if it ain't about choice, some people gonna have to mandatorily take it. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
Mandatorily? Is that it?
Yeah, mandatorily. That's
It's the
for
word.
2021.
Or
That's
if
the
you
word
are-
there.
Or Sherrod, if you work for Google, you
Yeah.
work for Google, I think you have to. My brother works for Google. Look at me dropping my brother
Ooh.
his credits.
What about
But-
the brother that's locked up? That's the point I made.
Well, I don't have one of those.
Braggart.
But Dan, what would you do to
Yeah,
market?
Dan, what would you say?
Wait, market it to who? Everybody, or you're saying
Whoever you want.
I think that people that are paranoid about vaccines are tough nuts to crack. I mean, that's like trying to market global warming policy to global warming deniers. I don't think you can reach those people. I think
if they poor, you can reach them.
I think that probably should be mandatory for until we get to herd immunity, because it's for the greater good.
Yeah, we're not
That's still
getting
real
to
Nazi. That's still real Nazi-like.
Not really. I mean,
what other shot is mandatory in America?
Mandatory. Lockdowns are mandatory in many countries. They even had people on the street. If you walked outside, they gave you a fine.
America, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Haiti. Haitians, yeah. I saw people getting beat in Africa for being outside. In Nigeria, getting beat by the cops over COVID.
Yep. And in
But not in
India
America.
too. And
Not in America.
They whooped some ass in India.
Yeah.
They
Sure
sure
did.
did.
Sure did.
I would love to see some people getting their ass whooped here.
No,
Love
it
it.
is happening.
Do you really think the vaccine will
Poor
be in the
people,
black
yes.
market?
Unless you believe the vaccine's not, I mean, the COVID's not that dangerous. If you believe it is that dangerous, then vaccines should be mandatory.
Mm.
Do you think vaccine will be like,
Or like
in
if
the black market?
like they're not going to hold you down and give you the vaccine.
Already is.
Say you want to send your kid to school. Say you want to, whatever. I mean, go inside a restaurant. You have to have you're vaccinated.
They're doing that with flights, actually. There's some flights that say
I couldn't get into Aruba without a test, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah, I think tests are mandatory, but I don't think getting vaccinated ain't gonna be mandatory.
It
on
may
a
not be,
flight.
but if you're saying how would I market it, if I thought it was that critical that everybody takes it, I wouldn't market it. I'd say you're getting it. It's like how it's like my father, how he marketed doing your homework.
Right. Right. But everybody don't look at the government as their parents. Far from.
No?
Well, the police
No.
are our friends.
No. No.
They help us when we drunk.
Oh.
But we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take it, but I'm gonna make sure I can get a good one.
Sherrod, where are you? That looks like a really
Yeah, I mean,
bathroom.
exactly.
What?
Where the hell are you?
What is up? What? Not a bathroom, nigga. It's just
Oh, it looks like
a room.
a 70s bathroom.
Yeah, it was like Studio 54 bathroom.
No, this is my cool room. This is why I be bleed.
That's where you're gonna get your that's where you're gonna attract people to get the vaccine. Come and get your blaze and your
That's
vaccine.
right. And all they gonna get is a 2-piece and a biscuit, nigga.
And how come Trump didn't take the vaccine yet?
He hasn't?
Well, he already had COVID, so he has.
Yeah, he's waiting for them to, his doctors to be like,
Biden.
all right, yeah, go ahead.
He's
And
waiting
do
for a second term to take it.
Yeah.
Oh, he said he wants to run back 2024. We'll see.
No. His second term starts the end of January. Didn't you hear?
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
You don't know that?
So I guess last question before we end this beautiful conversation. What do you guys, the one thing that you think that you take out for 2020?
That I take out?
What do you mean?
That changed you, that you learned.
This
your
podcast.
takeaway. Your takeaway from
No, it's not
2020.
take away. What do you
I
learn?
thought we were
Out?
going to do a top 10.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Lots
Top
of
10
us like,
the
tell
last
me
one.
who is your number one hostage for 2020.
What did you learn? The one thing that you learned, Rogell.
thing that I learned.
Yeah, in 2020.
That a very large percentage of this country is fucking stupid. That's what I learned. I mean,
just
that's
this
what I learned.
country
And,
or
the
the world?
pandemic. I've always, social media had already clued me into how dumb a lot of people are, but the pandemic just brought it right to my fucking doorstep. You know what I mean?
But that's not only
to
this
this
country.
day.
though. That's
To
the
this
whole
day,
world.
people still haven't figured out that you're wearing a mask to protect other people. They
Yeah.
still act like the mask doesn't work, doesn't protect. Yeah, we know it doesn't protect you. That's not the point. You're supposed to be protecting other people by wearing a fucking mask. You're not being brave. You're being an asshole. And when you say something like "my body, my choice," you're being a stupid asshole because you're still not getting it.
But again, this is not just the U.S.
Figure it out. And
This
you're
is not
still-
just the U.S. This is the whole world. A lot of people in the world.
Well, I live in the U.S. The familiarity breeds contempt.
Okay.
And we've done the
I got
worst
a lot
at
of
it.
fucking-
We've done
All
the
right, let's-
worst at it. So Gregg
People
is
still haven't
right.
figured out. People still
Yeah.
haven't figured out what 6 feet is, and
Yeah.
it's actually taped on the fucking floor of the supermarket for them, and they still haven't figured out. And then people get mad at me when I tell them to step the fuck back when I'm doing them a favor when I really should be beating them to death with a can of fucking corn.
Coming to theater
That's
next
my
to you.
takeaway. My takeaway is you.
What was the name? What was the name of the movie of Michael Douglas when he killed everybody? Falling? Was it
Hey, that was a
Falling?
good movie.
Falling down.
Falling Down. Gregg Rogell coming out soon.
Mhm.
All right, Marina,
2021.
what is your top 10?
Well, let's
Yeah.
see. No. I will say what Gregg was saying instead of doing my top 10 because
No, I want to hear your top 10.
my top 10 of 2020 I sound like it's like based on me being like a Karen.
Yeah.
But I was just my top 10 is 1, writing my first sign about no sneezing and wearing a mask. That was a highlight. 2, being asked to monitor the Nextdoor app.
Oh my god.
That means you get on there and you tell people that they're not acting right on the site. I was actually asked this week to do that, and I cannot wait. Number 3 was meeting a cat lady in my neighborhood. We rescued Tiger together, and she's also rescues like hundreds feral cats. Number 4, going to the farmer's market and filing a complaint.
Oh my God. That's a great story, Marina. That was a great story.
That was so much fun.
That gave me
was
life.
And they've been acting right ever since. 5, attending the community board meeting in Harlem. I still have yet to attend the whole meeting because I can't get past their introduction bullshit. Number 6, repeat attending the community board meeting. Number 7, writing my senator about the noise pollution behind my building. This was
God.
done this week. 8, Friday night dance videos, because this Karen knows how to have fun and party. And number 9, Super asked me for a sign because I make really great signs in the hallways. That was a highlight. And then number 10 was Colin Quinn's show.
Yay! Good job.
I got 10 Trump rants if you want them.
Oh, go for it.
You got to go 10 to 1. You don't go 1 to 10.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
it's
right.
Karen.
You're right.
That's what she does.
But I'm a Karen, so I make my own
That's
rules.
what she does. Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, number 10. Since day one, all Trump has tried to do is erase Barack Obama's legacy. But now that Trump is clearly the worst president this country's ever seen, he's erased George W. Bush's legacy. Number 9. There's a very simple way to tell if Donald Trump is lying. He is. Number 8. If both countries on your borders hate you, maybe it's you. Number 7. When Trump sends his thoughts and prayers, it involves a goat sacrifice. Number 6. I don't want to imply that Trump's not religious, but he thought Apostles' Creed was killed by Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. Number 5. Now that Trump has lost, all his supporters should be rounded up and sent back to middle school for re-education.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Number 3, that little red baseball cap is a lot like alcohol in that if you're already an asshole, it will accentuate it.
Ooh.
Number
Love
2,
it.
I don't want to say that Trump didn't make America great again, but I'm currently being sponsored by a Somalian child. And number 1, the people who hate Donald Trump hate him because he's a corrupt, pathological liar with zero moral compass. The people who hate Barack Obama hate him because he's black.
And that was the top 10. All right, we'll end with that. Rogell, Sherrod, and Marina, thank you guys so much, and happy New Year.
you.
Hope you
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year.
happy New Year. Thank you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you.
you.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
Mike, you wanna put Modi in?
What?
I mean, are you gonna?
Modi.
Yeah, just give him a little more than just put Modi in.
And here is
Yeah.
hello.
November.
Yuli is here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a presidential candidate that ran in the last election. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, but Yuli's here. We can't hear you, Yuli.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Can't
talking.
hear you.
He needs help.
You're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
He still doesn't get it.
No, I think he got it.
Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't have his mic selected.
Ah. This
so
is why he didn't get elected. Like, this is really
that's why
what the problem
that's why
is.
the people didn't get the message.
Hello?
Yeah, there he is.
Oh.
the Shabbos Goy just turned his mic
Hello?
Hello.
So now I'm not even in the message.
Yeah, there he is.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
You have to mute your YouTube, please.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
Because you're watching it at the same time, are you?
Okay,
Hello.
so I'm on computer. Okay. Hello?
Ale.
Hello?
Ale.
Let's do
Yes.
this for the next 10 minutes.
No, do
Yeah,
you
let's
hear
just
me?
do hello.
No, they don't hear me.
Yes, we hear you. Yes.
You hear me? Oh.
Yes.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
You wasted 6 minutes of your 10 minutes.
No, but I'm telling you right now, but it's all you need, because on this podcast, you only get half a minute because Sherrod is screaming at everybody and Gregg Rogell telling you what's wrong with Trump. But now, as you said, I ran for president in the United States of America, yearly, the unprecedented president. Okay, I didn't win. But Joe Biden, he should be well and live long, made me secretary of Simcha. Now, I don't know if you know what the word Simcha means, but maybe Dan Naturman going to tell you.
Dan, what is it?
It's a blessed event, a happy event.
Happy, that's it. I'm secretary of happy, and if ever there was something the opposite, it would be Gregg Rogell. Okay, so he's the opposite. Thank God. See, now you can do the joke because he's not on. So I want to thank you again, Hatem. Liz, it's so beautiful to see you and to see you. I never saw your last name before. Any relation to Dr. Pakachi, the one with from the CDC over there?
We're related.
No,
We're related.
So Yoli, let me ask you this: how many votes you got first?
For what?
When you were running for president?
We're almost there, but Joe Biden got a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
I know you won Williamsburg, right?
I'm talking about the future. I saw you talking about the vaccine, yo. Yeah. Now, as you know, the vaccine is out, and there's 3 kinds of vaccines. Okay, you have first and foremost, you have the Pfizer, and then you have the Moderna, and then there's a new one made out of the plasma and the antibodies of Hasidic people. We call this Judaica. Or maybe the genetic term is called Judaicin. But you take this one, and it does not have to be frozen. We prefer everything room temperature. So you take this room temperature, but the only side effects is you're going to want to knock on your neighbor's door and collect the rent. That's the only side effect you're going to have. What else I want to tell you like this? First and foremost now, any questions for Yoli? Any questions you have for me?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. The first thing is like I want to talk about Hasids. You know, I want to know how would you convince them to take the vaccine, and why? How can the world like feel bad about Hasidism after they attend a wedding party? Like it had a thousand people in the party.
I'm gonna explain you like this. I'm gonna explain you. First of all, yes, there was a wedding, and 1,000 people went to the and the question you're asking is wrong. Don't you say, how can you feel bad for Hasidim people who went to a wedding of 1,000 people? Think of the question. You have to ask, don't you feel bad for anybody that wasn't invited? If you were not in the 1,000 people, don't you feel bad for them? That's the way. That's a better way to ask a question. Yeah. Okay. Second of all, I want to tell you, regarding Trump, I know everybody before hates him, and I'm just saying, I'm focusing now on Secretary of Simcha. And one thing Trump is doing nonstop, he's pardoning everybody. He's making pardon, but I already spoke to Joe Biden. And instead of pardoning all the criminals and all of the people that were did bad, I want him to pardon every comedian that showed his penis to anybody. Everybody, anytime I see this comedian did this comedian did that, no, make a pardon, let him go. Okay, you showed, now we all have, and you move on.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's a long list.
What would you do for the people of New York, Yuli?
What?
The people of New York.
What about them?
How are you going to make them happy?
Oh, they're happy. New York is happy. New York would already, everybody already imagining the vaccine. Everybody.
Have you watched Rogell and Sherrod before this?
I did, but it's hard. I'm focusing on making everybody happy. And I want to tell you right now, as Yoeli, I've had an amazing time. I ran for president like this, and I'm telling you right now, it was unbelievable. Everybody came along and we had a great time. This year was unbelievable. I'm telling you, this year, you have to imagine like this. What are the miracles that came out? What are the miracles? What are the miracles that came out?
Is
like
that
this?
Joe Biden calling you?
Joe Biden calling you?
No, he's busy looking for me. But I'm telling you, I think the way all the comedians, because the comedy Cellar, all the comedians, what they did was amazing. First of all, they all did the live streaming and the schmai streaming, and then they did things unbelievable, even better. There's one comedian, Robert Kelly. You know him?
We've heard of him, yeah.
This guy was doing for maybe 2 months, exercising every night with somebody more out of shape than him. This was unbelievable. Did you ever see this? He was in the shack. He had the shack, and he had the rubber bands, and he had the weights, and he found guys more out of shape than him. No hair, big glasses, dressing the unbelievable.
Yoli, why don't you hold on 1 second? We're gonna admit 3 of the great comedians, and you can join us for this conversation because it's going to be very, very interested to get your take as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 legends showing us. Colin Quinn.
Well, 2 legends and someone else.
Netflix, Long Story Short, the New York Story, amazing guy, Tough Crowd, the Grown Ups movie. Jim Norton from Netflix special and the morning show with Jim and Sam, and Chip Chipperson podcast, and comedian Rich Voss. Also for 4 Comedy Center specials, HBO, and all that, and they all here with Yoli.
I didn't know Jim Norton had
Jimmy.
anything to do with Chip Chipperson.
Hello. I didn't hear the first question. Hi guys.
Hi, Norton.
Hello, Yoli. Colin.
Hello, Colin Quinn. Colin Quinn, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Quinn, this Colin, make me focus for a minute. I know we're not as important as Seinfeld, who's looking for you to make Noch a special, but I want you to give a focus now for us. What is he so busy looking over there?
Someone's texting him.
Yeah.
Not focusing on dyeing his beard.
First of all,
yeah.
Colin, l'chaim to you, Colin.
oh boy, do you raise anti-Semitism to another level?
Oh, that's Rich Voss. I don't see Rich Voss. No, ladies and gentlemen,
put the camera down.
No, leave it like that.
No, leave it. Please leave it. Damn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you should know like this. Listen to me. I'm telling you, the unbelievable comedians, Robert Kelly working out with people more out of shape than him, and Rich Voss fixing his house with a blower. Unbelievable to watch him do his backyard. You can't imagine how much nobody could care, but because of the unprecedented, he had an unbelievable show. Rich Voss, I want to thank you very much for showing me how to use the blower and the leaves.
I think you knew how to do it.
See, but
thank you for the nice compliments. Thank you. That's I miss you. I miss you, Rabbi.
I miss you guys so much. Hold on, I have somebody coming. Wait, I'm a note. I want to do the recap. 1 minute, guys. Hold on 1 minute.
There's somebody coming. What's his name?
Oh my
Rich,
God.
your camera is not set up nicely for this
What do you
podcast.
mean?
It just looks stupid.
I want to just say before I go, I don't want to stay on much longer. I want to tell everybody the recap for the year. Everybody, all the comedians, you were unbelievable, and you did. But for me, it wasn't the same year. It wasn't the same year as yours. My community, May 1st had enough with the pandemic, and we were doing. I haven't worked so hard this year as I did any other year. And I'm telling you, live events. I went to one event, and this is the last thing I'm telling you. I'm gonna let you guys go. I went to one Jewish event, a fundraiser. There was 500 people. I'm walking in, and the guy where he's supposed to do the measuring, right? It's an Israeli guy. I could tell he's Israeli. So I go to him. I do the thermometer lean in like this, and he looks at me. He just goes like, "Go ahead." So I go to him. No, take the temperature. He takes the temperature. I ask him in Hebrew, "Ma mispar," what's the number? What does he say to me? He goes, En batería. There's no battery. Literally, that's what he said. The Jewish community in May had enough. They just went right into a regular mode.
And it's so weird that Jews would deceive anybody, especially with a thermometer. What are the odds? As it,
I want to ask you guys something about, speaking of Jews and stuff like that, but
you're just waiting for someone to segue in there, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, no, I want to talk about the Time magazine. Yeah, the Time magazine Man of the Year or Person of the Year. They give it to Biden and Kamala, and they haven't done anything at all. I mean, what's your thought on that? And also the other thing, do you remember the good old days when actually the award meant something? And I'm sharing a screen with you right here. You can see right here in 1938.
Oh, Hitler.
Oh my God.
Was Times Magazine a Man of the Year?
Yeah.
That's not based on who's the best person, but who.
Well,
who changed.
Well, after Modi's segment, I'm not sure.
the strongest figure, I guess, or the biggest, like the biggest name.
I would.
In the history of the world, had the biggest influence on world events, is generally the criterion.
Are you sure that? I think that was wasn't that the Middle East Time Magazine Man of the Year 2 years ago?
I knew you knew it.
Yeah, I would love to see who lost to Hitler. Who came in second? Who came in second behind Hitler that year and had to explain? No. It's not that he beat me. It's just that he's more influential. Who had to explain to their friends?
Came in last year. The character Modi was just doing. 38 was a tough year for them.
Yeah.
Colin, how can I be your friend? Colin, what can I do to be your friend? Colin Quinn and friends. What criteria does that fall under?
Bring back Larry the Cabal guy that you were just doing before.
Or convince Hood to start doing comedy again.
Modi, I knew it was going to come to this. Everybody that's not on this special is pissed. Go ahead. Let me have it, Modi.
Listen,
what?
I
don't know. I'm telling you, I'm blessed. My community, I'm doing shows. I don't need to be in parking lots, roofs, and backyards. We are the Jewish community, the Orthodox Jewish community in New York is in phase 200. Do you understand? They don't give a shit.
Hey, Modi, don't worry. People on the special were pissed. Okay. Chris Stefano. Anyhow,
that was your fault, I heard.
No, oh yeah. I don't want to get into it now. This is a whole nother podcast.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Chris Stefano got credit for breaking the room open when it was him that did it. It doesn't matter what. Nobody cares.
No one cares, Rich.
I know. Listen, I don't bring it up. He does. But listen, I'm happy. Where are you, Norton? You're with your career. So I didn't even realize. Modi,
yes.
Walking into the Hasidic community, and it's great you're working, but you don't feel scared or nervous of catching anything, or you know what I mean?
I don't know what to tell you. It's definitely a study in sociology, but they went through it right away. There were two huge holidays right when the whole thing began, and they all got it right then, and they were done with it. So they were just like in another mode. I never had it. So I walk in with a mask, and they think that that's like a part of the act. They think, oh, he's hysterical. He's wearing a mask. Yeah. He's already being funny,
But how can you get that many people on the ship?
What
did I miss?
A question we all been asking.
Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah.
So guys, you like the best comedians out there. What do you think? Is this the worst time for comedy right now?
Oh, that was
I think it's a great time for comedy. I mean, it's an excellent time. I've been in the house for 9 months. I mean, I've never had it's a resurgence.
Listen,
it's like the 80s.
I'm selling the most tickets I've ever sold. I'm doing 15 people New Year's Eve. Our number is 25. Hopefully we'll get to 25.
Don't blame that in 2020, Rich.
No, I'm not. I just said, but I'll tell you the truth, which I've said before. This year it's been great because Colin did his special. The movie King of Staten Island came out. So great things have happened. My roast on YouTube, almost 500,000 views. So great things have happened. It's just that there's no club work to take advantage of it.
We like how you made this podcast into your merch table just now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where can everyone get your albums?
Right behind me.
But I'm saying, because I remember I was at the Cellar back in like 9/11 and all that. And it looked like it was going to be hard, but then it was easy. Like a couple of days later, and
but that was more for your people.
I wasn't. I was. No, I was talking.
Let me tell you, the thing with what I love about my people is even when it is a virtual show, I'm doing the Zoom shows, and the guy says to me, "We sold 125 tickets." You log on, and there's 900 viewers. They all just sent it all around. No one. It's like just when it was just. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Did I see you on Unorthodox?
Huh?
I see you on Unorthodox.
That was unorthodox. That's what made me do the character. The Hasidim people were getting such a bad rap, so I just began doing this character in my house. Listen, there's nothing like being.
And
on
you
stage,
helping
but
this way?
When you're stuck home, you begin to do things, and that's what it is. I never in my life thought I would be watching Rich Voss blow leaves. You understand? And the camera angles he does. The camera, and he gets up his nostrils, and now it's gonna, and then when I did these, I did yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that's right, he did that yesterday. And then Robert Kelly, Robert Kelly with the rubber bands. That's what got me through. I'm telling you, that's what got me throut.
I don't know why you say that. Anybody who's watched Rich do comedy expected to someday see him blowing leaves.
Wait to the end of this when you see Norton drill a hole in that wall over there.
But Jim, you had your show every day as well, right?
What's that?
Right? Your radio show, you had it every day.
Radio show, yeah, we're off for this week, but yeah, that's still 4 days a week, and everything. I'm still broadcasting. I'm just not doing stand up.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know one thing. How come everybody that has a successful podcast show like Jim and Joe Rogan, no one has hair? They're all bald. They're all bald men with the thing on their thing. And and if you look at their audience, they all look the same. It's all bald and some shirt from Metallica or Black Shabbos, whatever it's called. I mean, what was that band you have, Jim? Black
Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Shabbos, yes. Yeah.
Or African American.
What the name of the band is.
Yeah,
you raised a good point, Modi, and Rich, you have a very full head of hair.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's okay. You can attack me to make yourself look good, but I'm just here to enjoy the people I'm with. And it's good. I haven't seen Liz in so long, and it's good to see her without a tray.
This is the biggest audience.
No, it's good to see her without
Don't even start, boss.
Without a tray.
You're sitting in front of Brickface. Where the fuck are you? In front of Brickface? What is this?
I'll take it down. There.
You are horrible.
It's like your aquarium club now, okay? That fly-by-night fucking confession booth you have up there.
Oh, Esty texts me. She says you have to pay for your food again. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, there's nothing I have bad to say about it. When I come back in 2023.
Yeah, right. You'll be dead.
Yeah.
Probably.
I like that we have the 3 levels of Jews. Modi, the super Jew, Boris, the bad Jew in the family, and Naturman kind of in between. Nothing?
Well, no, because there should have been a fucking punchline after that fucking king of
no, it's funny, Colin.
Fucking king of setups. Go ahead.
I should have done it.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's funny. It's just the way we see it is all Jews. That's what we see.
Yeah.
We don't really see.
Well, you probably think we're Jews.
Yeah.
Why are you dressed like the Middle Eastern Jeff Leach with that fucking hat on your head?
Because I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I save every podcast. Go ahead.
God.
Yeah, except your own. Your own is the only one you ruined.
But Colin, I know you perform like in other states now, right? Did you go
Me?
to Texas and stuff? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This summer you did what, a show in Connecticut this summer, right?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I did a show, an outdoor what do you call it? Gazebo in Connecticut.
Ah.
Pagoda.
And I did a couple of outdoor shows. Yes, it was kind of fun because nobody really is jammed up, and you do an hour and 20. It was fun. Me, Goldman,
Yeah.
Brittany Carney.
Who?
That's Boris. You're really out of the game. Brittany Carney.
Yeah.
Oh,
Up and come.
Brittany.
Now you don't know who that. You
He
don't know
has
who
no
that.
clue. He
Yeah.
has
No
no
idea.
clue.
Yeah, she's an up and comer.
Hey, Rich, what's on that shelf above you besides not books?
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. I'm sitting here praying that he didn't put like the anchors and the whole thing will fall right on his head. I'm
You
praying
know he
that-
didn't.
How
First
great
of
would
all-
that be? That whole.
My mic usually goes up there, and I was going to use it on this, but I don't know how to set this up.
Of course you don't.
I know how to set up my podcast mics, but there's really nothing on here. But this is a great right here. When we had our radio show,
It'll
I'm
never support
serious.
your weight, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you can't hang yourself with it because you need a chin. But anyhow, so
Please tell me you're wearing that shirt ironically.
okay. Whoa, I'll fight you all. This, when we had our radio show, we had Janine Garofalo on, one of my favorite comics, and she made myself one and Bonnie one as a gift. And I kept it, because she's a.
What is it? What's underneath it?
It's a necklace, stupid.
No, but is there anything hanging off it?
No, I wish it was you.
Oh. That's
Rich,
nice.
take the vaccine, Rich.
Let Hatem be the host and ask us questions.
Go ahead.
Hatem.
No, please, no, please.
Yeah.
I just wanted. I wonder if Rich will take the vaccine.
I would take the vaccine. If I could get it tonight, I would take it.
You
My
would?
eyeball. I would take it in my eyeball.
Yeah, you've taken a lot of things there, so a vaccine won't make a difference. So, yeah, I would take it in a second. I've taken flu vaccines.
No one cares.
No one asked you about the
He just
That's
asked about
boring.
the vaccine. I didn't.
You're not-
The flu shot.
Yeah,
Nobody gives a
I'm
shit.
vaccinated for months. Nobody gives a shit. We're all vaccinated.
Hold on. I have a Trump supporter right now. Hold on, please. I will admit him right now.
Nick, welcome.
Hey,
Hey, Noam.
No.
mic is off.
Mic's off.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
Modi's
How is
still
it?
on?
No.
Yeah, well, he said goodbye about 20 minutes
I'll leave. It
ago.
was good to see you. I was about to say before I go how good it is to see you and how amazing you were during the whole thing, and you set up a place for the comedians to do. But your first line was "Modi's still on." I hope you fucking get this vaccine and you grow 4 more balls out of your asshole.
How come,
Fast-
how come this is the 4th time you said before I go? Jesus Christ.
By the way, Modi, somebody keeps sending me like your videos are going viral in the Jewish community because I keep receiving them on the other end.
Oh, the Israeli one. The
You know
Israeli
what else
guy?
is going
Yeah,
viral
yeah.
in the Jewish community? COVID-19.
My wife is here talking. You want to say?
I love your wife.
So what's the subject? What are we talking about?
About
Jim's in
Bryce
Clockwork
Dallas
Orange. That's awesome.
Yeah, you recognize the bathroom.
What
Good.
what interview you were doing?
The
No,
bathroom from whatever.
no,
What's
had
that?
an interview. What was the interview?
Me,
Yeah.
I was being interviewed by Jay Okerson because I said something in the book that Andrew that came out about the Comedy Cellar that annoyed him, so he wanted to dress me down.
What did you say? What did you say?
Well, there was an incident where he got in trouble. Some customers were complaining about him, and I spoke to him about it. And then, whatever. I don't want to rehash it because I said something that came out wrong. I mean, I said he was a genius, also.
A lie.
That's
but I just essentially just told the story of what happened and the way the guy wrote up the story. It seemed not bad, just a little bit negative about Jay, and he was a little sensitive about it. I don't blame him. Whatever.
You explained it?
I explained it. Yeah, he's nice, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be sensitive too if you were 6'4" and 240 pounds. You dress like Avril Lavigne.
I didn't say anything nearly as mean as that.
Wait, did that book already? That book didn't come out yet, though. Isn't it coming out in May?
In England.
Why did you wait till the laugh? We're not doing that well that we can afford to cut off laughs, boss.
I clapped. It was your best line in fucking 2020.
No, but you didn't like the fact that we were all enjoying your joke and Rich stepped in with an actual a real question about timing of the book.
By the way, I have a beef with,
Well, who's the publisher? What's your back end on it? Shut up.
if anybody follows Noam on Twitter, but he said today that Alec Baldwin is as naturally funny as any comedian he knows.
I deleted it.
Why did you say that?
What I meant was his Twitter was that he's tremendously naturally funny. I mean, he never spent his time trying to become a stand-up comic to develop it. But the guy is hilarious. I saw him on the Marriage Ref, and he dominated. I saw him 2 times on the Marriage Ref, and he dominated. He was
You're comparing him to Tom Papa.
Yeah. I mean, the Marriage Ref is where people really shine. Is my voice cracking out or no?
Yeah.
Listen, I think the guy is very, very gifted.
He's very, very gifted, but just to be clear, I mean, he's can't do what the best comics can do, and maybe most of us can't do what he can do. But
right, none of us like that comparison.
What I said was that he was naturally funny. That's like it's like meeting someone who's naturally gifted musically, who hasn't developed the talent, can't actually play the violin. And I'm saying
I think you should have been more precise. You should have said he has the raw materials. But he's never developed. You know,
that's what naturally funny means.
Well, but that differently.
I'm on Team Okerson.
That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was Brian Koppelman was saying that he was a great actor, and I said, yeah, and he's a really gifted, funny guy. Jerry Seinfeld said the same thing.
I mean, I think Mateo is naturally a better musician than you, but you know he hasn't developed it.
That's very hurtful.
I was kidding. I was kidding.
Very hurtful.
I was kidding, but that's what it sounds like to us.
Oh, okay.
Another comic will be paid for his meals at the Cellar.
So that's what it sounds like to us. And I didn't mean that seriously, but that's what it sounds like.
Well, to be fair, when I tweeted it, I knew that Dan was going to have that reaction. Then I thought to myself, I swear, I thought to myself, no, Colin will understand what I meant. Dan will take it personally. And that's exactly what it panned out. But then when you chimed in, I just deleted it. I said, I don't need this crap.
Yeah.
You never tweet anyway.
That's hurtful.
Yeah. You never tweet.
I never tweet, but you know, I don't know why I did. I just think that he is actually very funny. You know,
yeah,
I've always been impressed with that.
I say he's very talented.
Yeah.
He's very talented. That's all.
Yeah. No, I understood what you meant. He's a big boy.
Yeah. You can't say funny when you have people like this on, because the level is high. I talk about 2 of them only, by the way.
Alec Baldwin can do great things that most comics can't do comedically. I mean, his impressions, he does great impressions, whatever else.
Unless they have a daughter.
He's Dan,
I wasn't thinking about a stand-up routine. I was saying if you were sitting around the table, if he came to one of our comedy dinners at Del Frisco's that you're never invited to, I think that he could hang as well as anybody at that table. He could give as well and take as well as anybody. He's as naturally funny as any of the people at that table. That's what I meant. But didn't come out right, I guess.
You got to be careful. You know, when you say he's as funny as any comic I know, that's just got to say he's very talented. That's all.
I didn't mean he could do stand-up comedy.
Whoa.
But I'm not even more than that. He can't do stand-up comedy. He can't do what Artie Lang can do in an off-the-cuff way. He can't do what
Lenny Bruce could.
He can't do that.
He can't do what Attell can do. Just
nobody can do it
around. He can't do what Godfrey can do. You know, just fucking around. I don't want to.
Dan, can you mention all the comedians?
Mention Norton. Mention Norton and Colin.
Can he get booked on Colin Quinn's show? That's the main
Norton
thing.
could do what Norton did on Opie and Anthony. I haven't listened to him since then, but I'm sure
neither has anybody else. Norton's hanging on by
I don't know
a
if you guys
thread.
remember acting, but back in the day when Colin had a show called Tough Crowd, we got to see Rich Voss and Jim Norton act.
First of all, I'm up for Oscar for best cameo on King of Staten Island. They're doing cameo awards now. So
okay.
That's exactly the reaction you got.
That's
okay, they're not all killers. They're not all killers.
Those are conversation killers.
Oh, shut up. Look who's back. 1987.
So is it?
I'd rather watch Wonder Woman again. Go ahead.
Look, Noam, when is the club opening? That's the only question. It's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. You know what, dude?
It'll open the day that we're allowed to open.
When do you think? April or like September?
No, I don't know. What do you think, Liz? I think April. Yeah.
I think probably I think
before then.
End of March, April. Yeah.
Woo!
But maybe the Vegas one before that, right?
I heard the Rio's already open.
The casino's open. The hotel's open Thursday through Monday.
The Rio had COVID before COVID was cool.
That's why I'm immune.
The Rio had Legionnaire's disease, remember?
Yeah.
The Rio had Legionnaire's disease. Listen, this is true. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have Liz, who worries about a lot of this stuff, that I am a little bit, it's not that I'm out of the loop, but I just let her handle a lot of this stuff.
You're also blessed. You're also blessed because you're rich. So that's a good reason to be blessed.
Yeah.
Shut up, fucking Liz. What are you kidding me? You can go spend the rest of the fucking time in Hawaii. You could open a club in Hawaii and close it for the fuck of it. I'm so blessed I have Liz. Shut up.
Oh, you're not doing any spots, boss. It's fine.
I don't care. No one else is.
In any event. Yeah, the Rio's opening, but I don't think we're going to do any business there. But we're trying to be honest, we're trying to just provide work.
Well, I'll be honest. First of all, Modi's got to go soon. Modi.
I'm telling you. Modi, is there a Hasidic community in Las Vegas?
Yes. Yes.
There you have it. There's your sold out show.
I don't need to go there. I can just cross the bridge to Williamsburg. I don't need to go to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you got what he was saying, Modi.
I got what he was saying. No.
He's so hard on you, Modi. What's up with that?
I don't know. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun. I'm pretending I'm one of Colin Quinn's friends right now.
Yeah, we know this. You said
How
it
come you
7
weren't-
times.
Yeah, Modi, how come you weren't on the thing? Why did you turn down the special?
I was going to do Colin Quinn, but I was booked that night. I had a show. I had 500 people in an unventilated room in Borough Park.
He had 500
That's
people
fine.
in Muncie that night.
In Muncie.
But no, Modi, you said that the Orthodox Jewish community all got COVID early on. How many died of it, or did they have a pretty good survival rate? I mean,
The ones that died, just like that was it. And they're the ones that got it really bad, and they kept giving the plasma. But they were like, "Why are we dealing with it?" It's only the ones in New York. The Orthodox Jewish community outside of New York is quarantining, and like in LA, Elon is still doing shows in his basement out of his computer. And only here, I don't know what it is.
Not in fucking Lancaster. They're out in Lancaster. Oh, those
Modi,
Why would you mention Lancaster of all places?
The joke there was there we go.
Modi, can you explain to the people?
Every gig he's had in the past 5 years has been within 5 miles of Lancaster.
Modi.
I don't know what that means.
Go ahead.
Modi.
If you like, I can search the web for.
What the hell is that? Modi, can
Somebody's
you explain?
Siri.
Can you explain to the people the difference in the Orthodox community and the Hasidic community, and why one community will be, less adherent to the rules and stuff?
So
banking rules.
So I don't know. The Orthodox community is the people who keep the Sabbath and don't have the whole garb, right?
You're like you and Elon Gold. You're Orthodox.
They
Yeah,
shower.
yeah.
They shower 3 times a week.
Colin, where would you rate Noam between the Jews that we have? Because Noam and Colin had a rating for the Jews we have before that. Where would you put Noam?
Well, now, why would you bring it up, Hatem? My joke bombed the first time. Why are you trying to bring
You
never
bring
seen
it
you bomb
back.
before.
Circle back. Regular Alec Baldwin. Okay, go ahead. Somebody. And what about the Hassies?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I heard for like this. They said like this. The last time that they listened to what the government was telling them to do and lined up, it didn't work out very well for them. Huh?
Nothing.
So the Orthodox are like the black community. They don't trust the government.
Right.
Right.
Whoa, you said that, not me.
Whoa. I don't know if you can use that word. I don't know if you can use that word. But
Well, we were talking before you guys got here with Sherrod and Marina Franklin, and they both were saying that a lot of the black community does not trust the vaccine, and with good historical reasons.
Wait, you really scheduled this a certain way, didn't you?
the Orthodox Jewish community is hoping everybody waits a little bit with the vaccine because they have so much of the PPE stuff stored away. They were trying to sell that off first.
Say hi.
Yeah, probably. But now black people don't.
I have to leave at 8 o'clock.
No, you don't. Why?
Yes, I do. But I just want to say one thing. It's great to see all of you. Although I don't know the rest of you. I was under the impression when Hatem emailed me that it was a hard get and it was just kind of a one-on-one thing. Does everyone else feel that way? Let me show up, it's 30 of us. What a slap.
And I thought you were going to talk about the year that went by. You're just bullshitting here. What's the topics?
Yeah.
The year that went by, there's not much. I mean, it's only one thing happened: COVID.
What happened?
See you next year.
Oh, come on.
Thank you.
Oh, Colin left.
Colin's out.
Now I'm the biggest act here.
Hold on 1 second. Not too quick.
Look at here. Look
And
who's
now
here.
we're definitely way too many Jews. I'm going to say goodbye. Everybody, Mazal Tov, happy, healthy New Year. Zai b'simcha,
Goodbye.
be happy, all the best.
Modi, it was good
Bye,
seeing
Modi.
Great seeing you, Rich. Bye.
All
Modi
right.
makes me want to convert. Bye-bye.
you.
Hi, Judy. Hi, Jay.
Hey, how's it
What,
going?
man?
Look at that.
That's
How are
crazy.
you?
Oh,
Colin,
there's
Jim, and Rich
Voss.
Voss.
What's up, Judy? You look young and wow,
Shut
you
the
look
fuck
great.
up, Voss. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Judy. How
Hi,
are you?
Jim.
Hi,
Well,
Judy. Good to see you. I'm just
Oh my
signing off.
God.
We've been here since
Why do I
7:30.
get
Yeah.
so Jay, what's up? I get so
Not much.
excited.
I can
'cause
tell.
haven't
That's
seen
great.
anyone.
No, it was. I saw that Boss, Norton, and Colin Quinn. It was like any one of Bobby Kelly's podcasts from like 5 years ago. It was great.
Hey, Judy, how did your book do?
Okay, what are you, an old Jew? How did your book do? It's still doing.
Judy, yes, he is.
How did your book do? It's
I
doing
was-
really well. It's doing really well.
Oh, good.
Why?
All right,
What's the
I'm
problem?
going. I have to leave too. Goodbye, guys. 8 o'clock.
Bye, Jim.
Jim.
I love you.
Love
Yeah,
you.
I love you. Happy
So
New Year,
long.
and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Happy New Year.
New Year, everybody.
Shut
Good
up.
seeing you.
I love Liz's background. It's so original.
Isn't it?
Hi, Daniel. Hi, Hatem.
Hi, what's up, guys? So Noam, let's recap 2020. What do you want to talk about in
There's
2020?
not much to talk about, but I went out for to send them to mail a letter. I mean, other than that, I haven't done much.
Oh God, I can't with the. I went outside. I got a mail letter. I made a tuna fish sandwich.
My point is that nothing happened.
I love how mailing a
know.
letter's become an event. I had to go to the post. I had to go to the mailbox today. Oof.
No, here's the thing. That it's like I used to, pack. I'd have anxiety. I'd get in a car. I'd go to an airport. I'd fucking get off the plane. I'd get in another car. I'd go to a hotel. And like now, if I look at my calendar and I have something on Zoom, I'm like, oh fuck, I have to put on a bra. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's true.
Right?
Absolutely, 100%. I'm like, I'm still wearing pajamas from the waist down, but
Yeah.
I feel like from
Wait,
here up, I have to
Noam.
do something.
Yeah.
You trimmed the beard. It looked so good.
My wife's here. She wants me to go.
Happy
along
birthday,
also.
Juanita.
I'll come closer.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Look
Happy
how
birthday.
beautiful she is. She really must have some vision problems, Noam.
Actually, I'm practically blind.
I there anything non-pandemic related about 2020 you want to?
Yeah, Judy, how was your 2020? Tell us about if you recap yours.
Okay, I'll just say, 2020, it's like a blur, but I have to say there were good things. The shit things were that, I was supposed to I had booked my first Broadway show. So I was supposed to start in September. That done. I was booked on some Netflix, gay thing, all this shit that I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about money for blah, blah, blah. And, but I was happy that the book came out. And I have to say the best part was that my son, Ben, who went off to Tulane, I got 2 months of being with him that I never would have had if it wasn't for the pandemic. So yeah, that's it. But the rest of it sucks and I'm fat and Equinox, fuck them. I put my gym membership on hold and now they're like, no, I don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
They automatically, you cannot why can't you end a gym membership?
Never, ever. You can. That's so funny. You can never do.
I'm at Equinox. Can you put them on hold?
You can put them on hold for 3 months, and then they start charging you to keep it on hold. I don't want to go in a gym. It's like a fucking no.
It's gross.
Ryan Hamilton has a whole routine about that. It's
Yeah, he does.
I don't mind going to the gym, but I mind the fact that I can't use the steam room because that is my kind of motivation.
Okay, Dan, I can't. I don't.
I miss you in the steam room, Dan.
Well, if you can't, you can. We'll see you another
That
time.
visual is not good for anyone on this.
But that is my reward for my workout. It would I very much.
Do you wear a towel?
Yeah, I wear a towel. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Have you ever been in the steam room where some guy starts jerking himself off?
Yes, but when I was younger, I feel a little bit insulted now because it hasn't happened in a few years.
But so what happens? You go in and they start jerking.
In my 30s, it happened twice at Equinox, another Equinox that I used to go to.
Well, what do? They just sit there and then they get hard
and I just walked out, And
so Dan starts jerking off to make him feel welcome. So now your turn. Let's join in.
No, I just walked out and I didn't turn the guy in. I just, I was like, all right, which I should have because, you're ruining my steam room time. That's very valuable to me.
But also you want to see how it ends.
Nothing happens in the women's steam room. Nothing. Except there's always these fucking cunty people doing stretches and you're like, move, But yeah, nothing goes on in the women's locker room. It's so boring. But I hear when I was on the road with one of my shows, my stage manager, we used to go to the gym and then, we'd meet out in front afterwards. He'd be like, oh my God, I just got the best blowjob. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, and I go, who is it? I don't know. He's straight. He married, they don't even talk.
I can't believe Dan didn't wait for the money shot. I mean, that's like the payoff.
I know.
That's you're sitting there anyway. You got to see how, at that point,
I know how it ends. It's not a surprise ending.
All right.
It's so nice to see Noam as miserable as ever.
I'm not miserable.
Jay
So
McBride.
Jay, how was your 2020?
2020, other than the obvious 2020.
That was terrible. I had nothing going on before, but I had less going on after. So it's fine. It's I did a lot of side projects. I do a lot of illustration and that. So I did write about 4 months of a comic strip that I can put on the web. But no, for the most part, it was just I was stuck here with a roommate who takes song lessons and she sings show tunes twice a week. So you want to risk COVID at that point. You want to push it. But who likes show tunes? She's not. I don't know. She's a drag queen.
I kind of like show tunes a little bit. I like them. Oh,
shut
up, Liz. Okay.
I didn't say anything.
You made an eyebrow face.
I didn't make an eyebrow
Yes, you did.
face.
I
know
miss
this about you.
Huh? You went like this.
I know this about you that you
right.
make show tunes.
I miss. All right. I liked that everything stopped and I had to deal with like I couldn't, that it made me look at my life, but then the not, and I also, here's the thing that happened in 2020, which I don't know if this would have happened if we didn't have a pandemic, but all this time, I've realized how many of my friends I fucking can't stand and don't want to be around. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I feel like, ew, life is too short. I can't believe I fucking thought you were fun, because you're not, you know?
Wow, Judy, you're bitter. I have exactly the opposite reaction.
Really?
I'm feeling very sentimental towards everybody, and I miss everybody, and I love everybody. Honestly,
Well, I think that's not, no. When I see you guys, I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I just want to hug you. It's my close friends who I didn't realize were so annoying, who were in my pod, that I was like,
yeah.
But how did the pandemic make you realize that?
I think it also makes you learn to say no more. Like no and mean it.
Like, they're not, you know, they're not fun. Like, I don't know. I'm sort of, so I'm in Provincetown, and you know, I like to cook and have party people over and stuff. And I just really, they would just come in and plop themselves on the couch like I'm a fucking restaurant. No.
But this
I don't
isn't
know.
even like, this isn't even you getting pissed off about people on Facebook. This is you in real life getting pissed off at people.
It's like, come on. Like,
Judy, do you have hangers on? Do you have hangers on because you're famous?
I don't do that. No. The minute I sense any, I have like a group of friends that I've known, like they're just my friends, and they're not comics, and they're not, but you know immediately when they're like, want to hang, you know, and Elise will be like, oh, why don't you go be with your friends? And I'm like, they're not my friends. Oh, you just love it when I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know. I hate that shit. I hate that shit.
Can we bring up, but we had I thought a very interesting discussion the other day on our podcast, and I think it'd be an interesting question for all you. What obligation does a famous person owe, if any, to a fan that comes up and talks to them? Because Noam thinks that they owe that fans, first of all, should not go up and talk to their idols because it's rude to do that, and that a famous person really doesn't owe much of anything to a fan that comes up and says hello.
I think you should acknowledge, if someone supports you, you have to acknowledge them. But I don't want to fucking sit there and hear, you know, your life story. I don't want to hear about your gay kid. I don't want to hear about your fucking, you know, my friend did stand up and I don't want to hear that shit. Just like, hi, yes, so great. Thank you so much. That's it. But they fucking, for some reason with comedians, they just want to talk to you because you know, you bare your soul on stage. They think they know you, and they start saying shit. People say shit to comedians that they never say to anyone else, like singers and stuff. I don't know. I do think you have to acknowledge them because they're what they, you know, pay to see you. But you're talking about like random people walking down the street.
Well, no, I'm talking. Well, there was an incident of an alleged incident. We really don't know if it really happened, but at a comic, apparently, allegedly, somebody came up and said, "I love what you do. I'm a big fan." And the famous comic allegedly just turned his back on that person without.
Where was Voss
no, I don't
when
like
this
that.
happens?
Pardon?
Where was Voss when this happened?
What was that? The accusation that he
simply turned his back on the fan that said, "Hey, I love what you do." And
okay, can I just say something?
Comic?
Yeah.
I'm opening myself up for everyone fucking, you know, picking on me, but I don't really care. But I worked many times, and shut up, Noam, because I worked many, many times with Florence Henderson. Shut up. And
America's Mom.
She stopped and acknowledged every person she wrote back, you know, hand wrote letter. She was like, these are the people who keep you, you know, working, and they appreciate you, and, you know, you have to, and she, so I always, even, you know, after a show when I'm like, fuck shit, you know, fuck, because I have such a good vocabulary, fuck shit and fuck again. I always try to, that's rude. And I can guess who that person was.
It was an LA comic, I'm guessing. It sounds like
no, it was in the news. We can talk about it. It was the owner of Stand Up New York was bitter with Jerry Seinfeld because you know there's a feud going on there, and apparently Jerry Seinfeld was I don't know if he just turned his back and didn't say anything, but just, didn't really have any patience for some fan who came up to him. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that that's the way one ought to behave with a fan, but I'm saying that when somebody goes through life as ultra famous as Jerry Seinfeld, I compare him to like being one of the Beatles. It's got to be absolutely exhausting.
Yes. Yeah.
And at some point, I think that unless he's lingering in a place where the implication is that he's taking audiences, whatever it is, but in a small comedy club, if he's sitting at a table or eating or minding his own business, you cannot expect him to manage 100 different people coming up to him. And so, and I also said that if he was the kind of guy who could do that, like Florence Henderson, he wouldn't be funny. Like, you got to take the whole package. So, and also don't forget that the guy who owns Stand Up New York, who's a friend of mine, but he also bitched that Seinfeld didn't thank him after he sent him a gift basket from Zabar's and whatever it is. There's just kind of
I know that whole
like,
thing.
Shut up,
Here's the thing. If you own a comedy club, like, don't get in a fight with Jerry Seinfeld. Like, that's like rule number one, you fucking idiots.
But Judy, and this is the other thing I said to him, and this is because I was talking to a club owner. I said, you know what? If a fan walks up to Jerry Seinfeld in the Comedy Cellar, I am immediately apologizing to Seinfeld because I dropped the ball. I didn't protect Seinfeld from this guy in the audience encroaching on his space. His reaction of the owner of Stand Up New York was exactly the opposite. He was resentful of Seinfeld. I'm like, no, you got it backwards. You need to blame yourself because your job there is to protect Seinfeld so he can come in there and not be bothered by anybody. Hold on. So Seinfeld doesn't have to be put in that awkward position where he comes off as rude and whatever it is. That's our job as the club owners.
Right, but you're one of the only club owners who does that. You don't seem to understand that you're one of the only clubs that takes care of the comics, that the comics come first and the audience is secondary.
And I want to add, and listen, I don't bother famous people when they come in there. I don't even think they want to be bothered with me, and I'm the owner. It's my ball. I get to play, right? I can sit down and talk wherever I want. I never do, because what you said, I think the best thing I can provide is to have them be left alone and hang out with their friends. But that's what I'm there for. But
a couple of things. Number one is there's no reasonable way to protect a famous comic from anybody going up. If it's going to happen, no matter what you do. I mean, unless you want a police state in there.
Yeah, we do. We bring a security guy in and he stands there.
Famous guys, people come up to them. It happens. It's going to happen. It has to happen. You can't police it 100%.
Right, but Noam is saying he's on his own turf. He's in a comedy club.
Yeah.
He's trying to do his work.
Of all places that one would think a comic would be approached would be a comedy club, I would think.
There's a lot to this, Dan. I was just shocked that someone who receives the gift of a performance by Jerry Seinfeld that's worth, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well,
it gets that gift.
Depending on who you are.
It is.
Well, it might be. It might be.
Yeah.
Would have the fucking nerve to complain about anything this man
I think
did.
there's another point too, Norm.
That's another
the
point.
Cellar. There's so many celebrities. You're kind of used to being, but there's a lot of clubs that they only have one or two every once in a while, so they don't have the experience of dealing with celebrities like that.
Wait, what about a hypothetical? All right, Jerry Seinfeld's masturbating in the steam room. At that point, I feel
Dan
like
Naturman walks in. I guarantee you, Dan Naturman does not walk out. If Jerry was the one jerking off.
Of course not. At that point, you got to wait till the closer.
I would stick around, but I don't know that I would participate. I wouldn't participate in terms of touching him. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a very good question. A very good.
You wouldn't walk out. You would be like, I have to watch Jerry Seinfeld finish.
By the way, is what the whole Me Too movement was sort of about. Is that you feel intimidated, and if you do something wrong, there'll be recriminations.
Right.
I think no one's intimidated by Jerry Seinfeld's penis. I'm going to go on record.
I would.
I'm going to assume. I'm going to say. Wait, is this going off? I'm sorry. I should.
So we had one
No one's got
last.
that look.
we had one. So anyway, I mean, I don't know if you want to continue on that. I just take a different attitude, and I think these people should act. It'd be great if everybody could be super friendly to everybody in the world. I don't think that's realistic.
Yeah. Now I have a question.
Yeah.
No, you took a hit. I mean, like we all took a hit this year, but like you really, and Liz and everyone and Val and I am curious as to, all right, the vaccine, you'll be opening at some point in 2021. What is the landscape going to change, or are things going to be run differently? Are you going to stream shows like to other countries? Like, do you see your business model changing?
No, I don't. I expect there's going to be a big slingshot effect. I think people are going to go out. I did an interview with the Gothamist. It came out today. They kind of rooked me because I thought they were just going to take a quote, and they did a whole interview. But one of the things I said is that, the things that the comedy club sells, a place to go, have drinks, have a date, hang out with your friends, see, having a live shared experience. These things can't be replaced by Zoom. And these are very basic, primitive human things. So I mean, our industry, I think, is going to be the last one that would ever change. Things like lawyers, accountants, like I said in the interview, like I don't ever want to have to pay $50 for parking and go to Midtown Manhattan to meet my lawyer.
Right.
I'll do it on a Zoom.
I think there will be Zoom show. I mean, I think Zoom will continue on as a medium. There will continue to be virtual shows. I think virtual shows work pretty well, not for stand-up, because comedy is all about being together. But I think for like lectures, like if Obama wanted to have like hey, come pay to hear Obama on Zoom.
Webinars. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
TED Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to go fucking, I'm going away for a week to this, everyone in whatever sales is going away. I think that's done. I think people are they don't want to leave their fucking house. But I think comedy, people are going to want to laugh. Don't you think it's going to be huge?
Yeah.
Shows that I've done.
Judy, do you think that parts of the country will have more stand-up and better than others? Like maybe in the South a little bit? Texas, clubs like that.
Who knows?
I mean, I think right now people are migrating south because it's warm and they can, do these shows outdoors. I mean, Judy, you did shows outdoors this summer.
Yeah,
right?
I did shows all summer.
Wow.
In Provincetown, and it was great. But yeah, I think people are going down south because they can work outside.
Yeah.
Look, there's a question that people ask each other, and it's not going away, which is, what do you want to do tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And the comedy, like we flatter ourselves to a certain extent, and yes, we do present amazing talent, but it's that question which really starts the ball rolling. If people want to go do something, and then they choose music, comedy, the movies, or whatever it is, and that's not going to change. People want to go out.
I know. It's just theater. I think theater in New York. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but there's no. The theaters are so old that they have no ventilation system in them. Some of these theaters from the early 1900s.
But even if the film industry is going to change and now they're going to stream at the same time as theater and you have a choice to go to both, I think comedy could also see something like that because
I don't think so.
I also the one thing like I not to bring like Voss last half hour I was listening and he brought up Lancaster, for example. Like I think places like Lancaster and like Albany, New York, and all those places, like people will still want to go out on weekends and do something like a night in the town.
Right.
That's still gonna be a thing.
Mean, there's there's Soul Joel's Club in Royersford,
I just did that. I was fucking freezing. I was freezing, but
he's selling it out, and he's selling. He's selling out shows in the middle of the week, and he has heaters and a dump. People want to see.
It was
shows.
unbelievable.
They want to be social.
Right.
I went. It was really bad weather.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you people! I can't believe sitting under heat lamps. And they're dying. They're dying for fucking entertainment.
I mean, I went to a rooftop on 23rd Street, and there were people sitting out there in the freezing.
They bring their own chairs. I know.
There's something else that I maybe I'm not getting it, but to me, comedy has already been fully available on YouTube and television. I don't see how a Zoom show is anything but an inferior version of what's already out there. I mean,
I agree.
You know, on Zoom shows, you can actually do crowd work.
I do.
You see people in those little squares.
Yeah.
And
It's not. I don't even consider it stand-up comedy. It's just a different form
Oh
of
my God,
entertainment.
I totally do crowd work. I fucking abuse people. I'm like, you know, what are you doing laying on your couch? You know, like I fucking totally abuse them if they're not laughing. I look at their name and I'm like, hey,
I mean,
John.
when restaurants deliver, does that affect the number of people who will go eat out? Marginally, because when you go and eat out, it's much more than about consuming the food. It's
Right.
the evening.
100%
It's the
correct. I'm
evening.
just making the point that a Zoom show is not necessarily an inferior product to comedy specials on Netflix because you can do the crowd work and you can tailor your act. So if you're performing for, you know, Modi can do his character for his Jewish audience.
I don't think that's a character.
So we're doing a Zoom show, not a Zoom show. We're doing a live stream on New Year's Day,
Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
We're not doing it. Mint Comedy's doing it, but we're, you know, they're doing it at the club. And this is a very high quality thing that they do. This is like an HD broadcast with 3 cameras. And,
and no one's ever asked me to do a Mint Comedy thing. What the fuck did I do?
Well,
you're in Provincetown and not in New
All right,
York.
but I was in New York last month.
But these are Arabic people booking, Judy.
What?
It's true.
What did he say?
I said these are Arabic people who do the booking, so they're not.
Is it really?
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm kidding. Mustafa, I mean, of course he is, but that's not the reason. I have no idea what's going on with the booking.
This is Mustafa's thing?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
Mustafa's
Yes.
thing. Yeah, and it's very high quality. It really is. I mean, the last one I was really super impressed, and we're happy to be helping them. Now he has a.
It's not as high quality. It'd be higher quality if Judy was on it, but
Thank you, Jay.
Welcome.
Now
Yeah, I'll
they
send you that
have a
money.
vision of doing live streaming from comedy clubs as a business in the future, and I think that might work, but it will not. I don't think it'll affect attendance at the club.
No, but I think that, you know, you'll do a show, even your brunch show, right? Would be a nighttime show in Europe. And you could get people to, you know, buy tickets, expats or whatever, and you could make more money.
You know, I mean,
I think what you're saying is eventually it's going to happen, but I think there's a transition period where you should also be ready to do something different to go, you know, like eventually maybe a year or two, things will be back to normal. But
no, but
now,
in general, comedy live, there's, you know, you can't beat a live comedy show versus stand-up specials. You know,
There's nothing like live.
There's nothing like it.
I think Judy made a good point. Like the Comedy Cellar is kind of almost, I wouldn't say legendary, but like all those people I know in France that are comics and they think the Comedy Cellar is like this unbelievable place. And they might pay $5 for an evening at the Comedy Cellar, you know, or in other.
Five?
Well, whatever. I mean, I don't know what they would pay, whatever they would pay. But I mean, it could be an additional revenue stream that you know.
I don't view these things. I mean, it could be an additional revenue stream. I'm inclined to do such things for free, to tell you the truth. I mean, I know that's not feasible because I see everything as a way to promote the club, and I'm happy just to make my living at the club.
Well,
But,
do you think in
go ahead.
2021 you could put the borscht back on the menu?
Yes, the borscht is on the menu.
The cold borscht with the
Oh.
boiled potato.
What about one thing that
I think we need to go back to the whole menu in 2021. It's actually something I was thinking about. Going on.
Oh, good. Yes.
Wait, now hold on. Let's not be too hasty. Noam, you wanted you redid the kitchen, and your idea was to take things up a notch.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
Yeah.
You never found a chef. Now I go to Aruba. Aruba's an island in the middle of nowhere of 100,000 people. I go to great restaurant after great restaurant after great restaurant. You can find a chef in New York City that can transform the olive tree.
It's probably the size of the kitchen, don't you think?
No, our kitchen. First of all, size doesn't matter. No, we made the kitchen bigger.
Oh wow.
That's what the whole renovation is. Not the size of the kitchen. This is actually maybe one of the only things that Liz has not delivered on.
I failed.
But you know, the truth is that at the time we contemplated this tidal wave of comedy just lifted us, and it became a little bit less of a priority. But it shouldn't be, because it's money left on the table, as they say. And we never know in the future
Well,
when comedy might subside, and we may need that restaurant business to be healthy.
Yeah, but you know, there's going to be so many chefs who lost their restaurants who are probably going to be dying. They would love that.
Yeah, I think this is a good time. Unfortunately, I don't want to sound like a buzzard, but it's a good time to find the chef, probably, Liz.
Mhm.
Yeah, Liz.
Okay. Naturman, if you know anyone in Aruba.
A good Ukrainian Russian borscht specialist, perhaps.
Yeah, get Ray
So
Ellen to cook.
can we talk about the news story today? It's the last one of 2020 about this young girl. She said the N-word at 15. You heard this story?
Oh my God! And she couldn't go be a cheerleader.
And the guy held this video. I don't think he held it for 3 years, but the video was 3 years old. He held it for like a year, and finally, when
he waited until she announced,
that
she got into this,
And now, I mean, well, what do you guys think about that whole thing? And there's two other details which I thought were pertinent. One was that since then, she became a big BLM supporter. She was tweeting out in favor of the George Floyd protests, number one. Number two, the guy who released the video in that New York Times article, it said that his father, he's multiracial, his father had used the N-word at like a family function with his black family, and he had to take his father aside and explain to him why it's not okay for him to use the N-word, which was interesting to me, like, because he thought his father should just have it explained to him, but he thought that this girl should have her life ruined from 15.
Yeah,
I just thought it was awful.
I feel like
what context did she use the N-word in? Did she?
She was young, and I think I read that she had been drinking, but I don't know. I saw the video. It's only 3 seconds of the video, which always makes me always makes me suspicious that they cut off. You know, when you cut it down to 3 seconds, it's usually because there's something in it that might mitigate it that you've left out.
Right. She was gonna say the N-word and follow it with something like great athletes or something.
I think she said, I got my driver's license, N-words or learner's permit, N-words. That's it.
So no, what was the biggest?
He didn't call somebody. Almost
there should be an age limit. We should say like you are like, you're allowed to do certain things until you're 16 or something. Maybe just there should be like an age limit on that, like 13.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a whole irony here too, also, because there's a big movement, and I'm sympathetic to it, that they should be de-emphasizing all sorts of criminal records of minors, because these are often obstacles to young black kids getting into colleges, because at 15 or 14, they did something stupid and now it's on their record and the colleges ask for that. So there's called Block the Box or something. I forget what the movement is called. And the New York Times even had an editorial at one time saying how these things should be sealed and people shouldn't be considering what people do when they're 15, unless you say something racist, right? You could spank the hell out of your kid.
Right.
And you would never lose your job.
Here's
you
the
can do
thing.
all sorts of horrible things and never lose your job, right?
On the grand scheme of things, though, in 2020, I think a cheerleader not getting your job doesn't even cut it. Like that's, I'm sorry.
She was to go to university, and she ended up losing her admissions to the university. Don't say that. That's not nice.
The best cheerleading squad, like the award-winning cheerleading squad, she lost her. She can't go to college. I mean, it's a learning experience. The guy really did wait until she announced. Like he held on to it for a really long time until he could do as much damage as possible.
And that guy is here, Kurt Metzger. Welcome to the show.
I just want to say one other thing.
What are you guys talking about?
The girl
cheerleader couldn't get into college because a video came out of her.
No, she got in.
Oh wait,
they rescinded.
They rescinded the offer.
I think that people have their dreams in their lives, whatever they are. They may be modest, because maybe a modest dream is all that's realistic for them. And that's what is important to them. And they work for it and they plan for it. And if it's taken from them, it should be taken from them fairly.
That's true.
It's easy.
Point.
It's easy for us to say, well, I wouldn't care about it. But for her, this
Listen,
was her universe,
but it's a learning experience. You could use it as a learning experience. Listen, I said that, and I now know that I have no right to say something like that. And if you're 15 and you're blah, 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 like these are ways you can, teach.
Doesn't all this shit seem like a trick, like to do this with your job or your prospects? It's like I say a lot, actually. It's like, so you never punch out of work. You are always on the clock representing your fucking thing. And it just gets everybody's just like, for their petty fucking grievances, They're allowing this corporate fuck. It's crazy what's allowed now.
I know.
Who's the doctor that went on vacation? She wore a bikini and they made it like a fucking thing. Like, that's not appropriate for a doctor to wear a swimsuit. It's like, I'm on vacation.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but that's the trick now.
What-
and
what-
everybody's
what about the-
on board
what
with it.
about the
Everybody's on board with their
OnlyFans story?
privacy gone. Whatever I do at my house is none of your goddamn fucking business.
Right.
If I hang my kid out the window like Michael Jackson, that maybe is too far. But
Right.
if I,
So let me ask you guys this, so we can stick with 2020. So who is your person of the year in your opinion? Who won it this year?
General Soleimani,
Thank you, Kurt. I was saying the same thing. You know.
Wow.
the great General Soleimani.
No, isn't it funny that
Gone too soon.
Biden and Kamala won it and they didn't even do shit yet? Like how?
No, that's ridiculous. It should have been
That was
Dr.
stupid.
Fauci.
That was just time wanting to give a big fu to Trump. That's all that was.
Wasn't Trump the person before?
No,
I
he was
thought you don't have to be
nominated.
good.
But
He's
you know what's funny?
nominated
I shared this earlier, but I waited for Noam to share it. The list of Time magazine of the people of the year, and if we go back to 1938.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
right.
Everyone's like Hitler was person of the year.
Yeah, you don't have to be a good person or something, right? It's
Like,
just
how is that even?
I want to tell you, I've always loved you, but I've never been more heartwarmed that you saved Hitler for me until I got here. I really appreciate that.
No, I did it with Colin, but I had to do it again with you. But
Oh, sorry.
no, but I mean, like, how is like, I don't know how he got it, but like with
But
Biden,
that is a person that defined the year that, and I think Fauci should have been the fucking, yeah.
Okay. What about the people that actually invented the vaccine that we don't even know their names?
Well, that was part of it. They said,
Or how
Fauci
about
and
the
all
Chinese that invented the virus?
Oh, if we need to find patient.
That was last year.
0.
That's it, Kurt. You should never be able to do stand up again in China.
Actually, I maybe could get in trouble and not be allowed to go back to China for that. I think they're pretty. Yeah, I did stand up there. It was pretty great.
Kurt, you're running out of countries, man.
Well, the person of the year is a bat.
Well, they don't want Batman, the first man to get COVID.
Jay, who is your person of the year would be?
Well, I mean, for Time, I think they had 4. They had the BLM movement, they had Fauci and the researchers, they had Biden, Harris, and they had one other one, right?
They have different category, but there's one is the person of the year, and
How
that one.
do this Time how do any of these magazines just get to have a thing like this where they announce who the person of the year is and everybody there's some kind of authority?
Right.
It's fucking mind. I see with comedy they used to do it all the time. Like
Dan,
the
your mic's
Brooklyn
not working.
comics.
We could have our Comedy Cellar person of the year. But I don't know if anybody would pay much attention to it.
Did you ever work on an award show? I wrote on a bunch of award shows, and you pretty quickly this is a thing to sell advertising, and because people are mad when the awards aren't
it's all
fair for
about
various
money,
things.
yeah.
And it's just fucking amazing. People who gives a shit who Time's fucking. Isn't it like a dead format anyway?
For whatever reason, just like they give a shit who wins an Oscar.
We know.
But I think I agree with Judy, because the one thing there's a lot of things that Dr. Fauci did, but I think he inspired. For the first time, I see a lot of kids want to be doctors now. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of short kids want to be doctors finally.
Huh?
A lot of short kids see.
Didn't he play basketball in high school or something in Brooklyn?
Yeah, but that was
he did
back in the day. Back
ago.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
of
and then
let me
Trump-
rephrase, a lot of kids want to be doctors, not only Jewish kids, like a lot of kids,
I mean, I think honestly, Trump was probably the most influential if you do a person of the year. Obviously, I don't support Trump, but I think
he really didn't get it already. I feel like I saw him on.
No, he was nominated in 2016. He was one of the 4 finalists.
Who do you lose to?
And he was
the
nominated.
thing about Trump, even though I hate him so much, the one good thing about these 4 years is that people have become so much more civic minded and knowledgeable about the way the government works. Even my kids, were like, people were just watching the news being like, wait, he can't fucking do that. People, I think, went out and voted. I think people are way more engaged because of that
Well, probably
motherfucker.
more
I think
it's going to rescind pretty quickly. I think.
What is it? 150 million people voted. I mean, a record turnout like that.
Yeah.
That happened because of
by
Trump
mail. If you don't have to go, it's going to be a record turnout.
In that sense, Biden maybe earned person of the year because he was the only one that was able to knock Trump out of the box.
I think it was a big mistake of Trump to call him Sleepy Joe, because really that was the the ultimate goal of this is like, you know, all the people I know that are like, I don't know, like your CNN style Democrats have just had dark circles under their eyes for fucking 4 years. And Sleepy Joe sounds very appealing. Like it sounds like the, you know, the My Pillow pitch. And I'm like, oh, that's just what I need. Sleepy Joe. And then that's when you'll see a lot of this woke horse shit die. Once these like kind of upper class bourgeois twits now can feel comfortable ignoring the process. Like Mulaney's joke about the horse in the hospital, how he didn't like having to kind of pay attention. I think that's exactly what it is.
Oh, I don't know the bit, but
as a man with the cadence of a reverse Mulaney, you don't know. Mulaney's forward, Naturman's.
Noam, who would you give the award to?
Person of the year?
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know the thing about Person of the Year is that it used to be Time Magazine used to pick somebody interesting, and then they would explain their pick, and it was a cultural thing.
It was relevant culturally,
right? Like the guy,
yeah, but also you have to remember that
football.
That everything in America has changed. This is a relic of a time when there were 3 TV stations, and everything happened to the whole country at once. Everything wasn't so balkanized or whatever it is. So it's hard for anybody to understand what Time Person of the Year meant back when there was Time, Newsweek, 3 TV stations, 3 networks, and we were all in it together, you know. And we all felt connected actually in a way that we don't.
What was that? The Bush years? I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's still stories that everybody, George Floyd, was
George Floyd would have been a good. Was that 2020? George Floyd would have been a good person.
Would have been a good one, yeah.
They did. They said the whole BLM movement. They said George Floyd, the BLM movement. It's the way Time worded it. That was one of them.
And also, right now, joining us from Aruba is
what?
Oh,
there he is,
Mike Vecchione.
How is he?
George Floyd would have been a much better, or some, you know, probably George Floyd would have been a much better person of the year. I don't know if it's appropriate to have somebody who died, but
James Corden again for the.
Can someone explain that to me?
Welcome,
Mike. Judy. I just tried to watch because I worked with people that know him, and I don't, and he's just like a real fat ambitious theater kid guy, I guess. But he came from some show called Gavin and Stacey that was very popular. And I tried to watch clips of it, and I don't think that show's coming over here. But I don't understand I don't know who it appeals to. He's like
Gavin and Stacey. Isn't that like the like how to dress show sort of thing?
No. You're thinking of Clinton and Stacey.
Okay.
I'm talking about Gavin and Stacey.
But see, all right. He gets this late night show, right? Why couldn't he go to a woman? Like,
how about someone from America? How about we build a woman around the goddamn acting and talk show job?
right around the TV studio.
Like hosting the Daily Show? Is that what they mean? Hey, Vecchione.
Hey. Vecchione, you got a tan. You're looking good.
I'm in Aruba.
Vecchione's American labor.
How long are you in Aruba for?
He's never leaving.
Till the 8th, but we might extend longer. If nothing's open, I don't know. I don't see the reason to come back.
Until Ray's trial is over? Is that what you're saying?
Wait, I thought they're not doing shows there.
Yes, they are. They are doing shows. And it's COVID safe.
How do you know it's COVID safe?
Because everybody's, you have to go table to table with a mask on.
Do they? Do you really? You go to the tables like a mariachi?
I'm kidding.
Are they going through January?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens after I leave. I can't be
there, I think through January, end of January, according to his little website and all that crap.
Wait, how's the restaurants down there? How's the food down there?
They still have borscht.
How's it down here? It's where I've eaten. It's been good. I ate Smoky Joe's and.
That's what I was trying to explain to Noam, because Noam said he couldn't find a chef in Manhattan, but there's a ton of good chefs in Aruba. So I saw a disconnect.
All right, I got to put my lasagna in the oven. It's like it's ready to go.
You're in Vandersloot.
Nice.
If you know what I mean.
And I roasted some garlic.
Nice.
Judy, I'm sorry my beard's not longer.
Oh my God, you look so hot. It's such a good beard.
Beard.
Kurt has a good beard too.
It's a little overgrown.
What about me, Judy? I'm a person too.
You have a great nose.
Mike looks like a cop who has secret Epstein files from the Florida Police Department. He's on the run with them. There's a dead switch. If something happens to Mike, we will get the truth on Epstein.
Was Epstein a 2020 thing?
Yes.
Or was it 2019?
He died.
Epstein was 2020. George Floyd 2020.
Well, he died in 2020, but he was arrested.
Why wasn't he Person of the Year?
One of the accusers was nominated last year, I believe.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I think I don't know.
I gotta go. I have to call Ghislaine
Thank you,
Maxwell.
Elaine. Call Ghislaine and wish her well.
Elaine, whatever the fuck her name.
I gotta set up some security.
All right.
It's good
Well,
seeing you.
happy New
Bye,
Year,
Judy.
everyone.
Bye, Judy.
Come on, look at that little pug. That's the cutest dog behind you.
He's
Liz.
just chilling.
Little baby. All right. Smell ya.
Love you.
Oh, you said Happy New Year,
Love
Judy?
you.
I didn't hear you. Hi. Juanita wants to wish you a Happy New Year. She hung up.
And she's gone.
And she's gone.
Told you.
Liz, I think your dog wants to say something.
No, he has nothing to say.
He looks like he really wants to be a part of this.
This exact time last
More
year,
than me.
any of you, was anybody on this exact date in 2019 had any inkling of what was to come? I think Noam might have a little bit.
Yeah, we actually started the. I remember this podcast tonight with saying the two people that had an idea was Noam and Marina that I know, but Noam, yeah.
In December, I don't remember exactly.
On this date, December, whatever date we are, 29th of 2019. I certainly. I mean, I had heard about COVID in China and that they were shutting down. I think was Italy being overwhelmed by this time, or that wasn't until
that was later.
Oh my God.
That was
This is
later.
like it's
yes,
we
he
had an
saw it actually
epidemic.
in November.
Yeah,
Do
they
you
said
in November of 2019, we were talking about your new project that you wanted to do, and he decided not to do it anymore. And I told you why. He said, I expected that things gonna go really bad. The subway's not
me?
gonna work. Yeah.
I don't think it was November. I think it was February. But
No, November, because I wasn't around in February.
I thought things were gonna be bad.
I know
but
you had a
that's
heart
just in
transplant and
general.
all that,
Had
but
nothing to
I
do
don't
with
think you're
COVID.
remembering things properly.
No, I was in the hospital since November.
Yeah, no, you would know. It doesn't seem that way to me. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I was worried about it.
Hatem was given the heart of a Filipino servant that they.
We know it's true, Hatem.
They took his
We know it's
passport
true.
and woke up inside
I
Hatem.
knew a guy.
Listen, I'm expecting a lot of angry email because it's supposed to be a year in review. Did you prepare any year in review questions?
Did you guys watch Death to 2020 on Netflix?
No.
Oh my God. If you want to not see a year in review show more than this, it's all Hollywood actor. It's the guy who made Black Mirror, which I like that show, Black Mirror.
Mhm.
He made like his comedy look back at how bad 2020 was, and then it's like all these big name actors with like fake names. It's like a comedy.
Oh yeah.
Fucking like Ron Burgundy names, and there's like fake talking. It's almost like that thing they did for who's the guy, Matthew Shepard, that they made a play about his death.
Oh, the Laramie Project.
And you're like, why did you corny ass actors need to be part of this? Let me just see the people who. But so they filmed the people telling the stories, and actors portrayed the people to that's what this felt like.
Yeah, but you see, everything I see like a recap of 2020, it's so sad, and it's all like they put all the miserable stuff, which is okay. It's important to document this a little bit, but I think it's more, what we've been through is more important, like regular people and all that, right?
Dude, Kumail.
Well, if it's on TikTok, I think it should all be on TikTok and set to our favorite songs.
We could have never predicted how popular or erotic TikTok would be. Like, you know Kumail, right? Kumail's on that 2020 thing, and you cannot believe in 1 year the amount of like his face. Like he should have had a bra for his face because his features are like, I don't know, it just happened in 2020. His fucking like face looks like
It's like he was carved out of stone now versus like
Yeah,
before.
he had Bollywood good looks when I met him, and his face just looked. I don't know if it's because he like got in shape for that movie. That was the
I
most
think so.
upsetting part is that Kumail's fucking
jacked.
Insane.
His face
He's
looks like
so good looking.
Put it that
What's
way.
his name?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, I think you're talking about Kamau Bell. Kamau.
How do you spell it?
No,
How do you spell
Kumail
it?
Bell, he's still hot.
So did you guys already talk about like New York and LA? Like
Do it, Mike.
Industry leaving? Is that
Well,
what does everybody think about that?
What do you mean?
Like
Who was
industry
the new
leaving
New York?
and LA.
Do you mean
Aruba
Tom Hanks?
is the new New York.
What's the new New York?
Aruba.
It is.
Vecchione's there.
That's why Mike is there.
That's true. Mike seems like that kind of
They have
guy.
all the great chefs.
Wherever he is.
I think there's some businesses that did pretty good in 2020. Obviously,
Certainly
Amazon,
obviously.
Right.
yeah, Netflix.
People who made masks and antibacterial lotions.
Hey, this might be a dumb question, but how does Netflix actually make money?
I guess from subscriptions.
Subscriptions.
It was a dumb
People just
question.
share passwords.
You're a real idiot, Mike.
Well, people just share passwords. How do they make money?
I think you pay for like certain devices, so you can share the password if you want, but up to 3 devices at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah. I was so offended at Cuties that I stopped using my friend's account. For...
I
got your own.
Have enough money to produce all the stuff that they produce. I mean, it's an enormous quantity of
Crazy.
And most
I
of
think I think all the woke shit's like a tax write-off too, so they probably saved it that way.
But you know who's the
Ted
first?
Birdie saved them like a good million.
You know who admire really like that reflected quickly in 2020 is all the porn websites. You know, like you can find categories right away. COVID patient is right
Do they have
away.
COVID porn now?
Yeah. I
By the way-
was impressed, and this is in January, like when
Do
it
they
first happened.
Do they make like porn of other like illnesses and disease? Like there's not like AIDS porn, right? I've never come across
And
that.
they
They don't make. Yeah, they don't make
Attention.
enough. That's all. They don't make enough of those.
Well, because COVID impacts sex directly. I'm told in Aruba that prostitutes are told to do a doggy style. Now, I don't know if that's true, Michael. That's what I'm told. Just to keep the-
When you say when you say they were told, who is the one that told them?
Aruba Ray.
There's
By the
only
way-
one safe way.
I have something kind of interesting that happened to me in 2020. Somehow they put my feet on Wiki Feet. I don't know how that. Like I don't know if
What's
you've heard of
Wiki
Wiki.
Feet?
It's like this. They call it like feet of celebrities. I don't know why they. First of all,
wow.
A, I don't have good feet. B, I'm not a celebrity, so I don't
You and
know. Like,
AOC are on WikiFeet. That's
and they
big.
took like these nasty pictures I had from Instagram where you're making fun of how like disgusting my feet.
I mean, how do they could just, label it somebody else's feet and nobody would know. They could just say
Yeah,
you're-
you don't have to even. Do you have to have a full body shot to establish that it's your feet?
I didn't do.
I only
someone did
jerk
this,
off
so,
to the
like, I didn't-
finest foot porn, so that please.
I need to know who it belongs to.
Say it's
What's in the feet?
They used to say it's Alison Arngrim from Little House on the
So
Prairie.
what about you, Mike? Anything interesting? What's the most interesting thing that happened to you in 2020?
I tell you what, I hate to get real, but it's like I just had time to be alone. Like I was with my girl, but like time to like stay. I was just running around doing spots for the past, I don't know, fucking 20 years, like just running on the road, like taking every opportunity possible. And this is just, it shut everything down and just nothing to like, it kind of forced us to work on other projects. I felt like. That's perfect.
Yay, is this really your feet?
Yes, that's. I was showing off the bruise that I didn't
Yeah,
know how I
did
got.
someone step on your foot?
No, I was showing off how badly I needed a pedicure.
Yeah, you did.
And that was like I was playing a lawyer.
Whoa.
All right, come on.
Well, sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know what I was. Sorry, I'll stop. I didn't know what I was expecting to see.
One was I was doing a
Wiki
sexy Tony Soprano. It was my costume. That was the joke. So I wore a bathrobe and a tank top and shorts. So I called myself a sexy Tony Soprano.
Mike, did you do anything in all the alone time? Did you do anything that one could categorize as kind of personal growth related, or learn something? Maybe took up a hobby, maybe did some, gimp. I don't know.
I stopped drinking. I started doing that. I was gaining weight and my blood pressure was through the roof. So I started doing fasting and all kinds of other stuff. Meditation I was doing, but I changed it. Intermittent fasting. Just not. It actually helped not being out every single night.
Were you less motivated to like work out and stuff like that, Mike? Like this year, or more motivated? I don't know.
Because I wasn't working out necessarily to look good. Just I wanted to work out to feel better. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else is like
you-
that, but I wanted to feel like better, and like drinking and overeating was really like dragging me down. So.
Yeah.
And I think the question is, you feel better.
Would you sum it up this way? All new Mike, same old haircut.
What about you, Kurt? What's the major thing that happened to you?
Well, I finally put the finishing touches on my masturbatorium, which I'm
Amazing.
I don't know. I didn't do shit. This is like I did Zoom comedy. That's kind of not the same. It's like a.
My wife says you look thinner, Kurt.
No, I got fatter. I had to go up. I had to go to a 36 waist up from 34. So
oh wow,
definitely got fatter.
Did you guys work on any projects during your time off?
I did finish a novel.
Did you?
Yeah, but scrambling, not having the easiest of time, finding an agent for it. But
well, yeah, but
I thought you meant reading a novel.
I'm not like.
I really thought you were like, oh, what did you read? Was it good?
I'm not like
finished that issue of Time.
Fuck. I did a bunch of shit with Kyle. That's it. That's pretty much all I had to cling to. Was just doing some YouTubes.
What about prediction for 2021?
I dedicated myself to being a better husband.
Did you?
Oh, she's next to you, isn't she?
Yeah.
How could you?
Right there.
That's I dedicated myself to my wife, to my family, to being a better husband, to be more supportive.
We'd like to hear that from them.
Here, she's right here. Tell him, sweetheart. Here.
Liz's dog is doing an impression of me during
I
2020.
asked you to look into my eyes today for a minute. You wouldn't.
Oh yeah, she saw this thing about some
You were like,
marriage
you're gonna see all my lies. if you look
marriage
into my eyes.
marriage
Really?
therapy where husband and wife have to stare at each other's eyes for 10 minutes. Just
A
what?
minute. A minute.
I can't do it.
I
What
know.
are you stick?
Oh, but
that's
Juanita,
tantric.
listen to this. But
Yeah.
he can have his feet rubbed by the therapist. That's okay.
That's
you got
right.
to stare, and you're not allowed to come.
Do you guys want to hear the funny story? No, you want to tell him that story, please?
Oh God.
No, I don't. This is not. Listen, I'm worried that people tuned in for a year in review show. So give me a fucking year in review show.
Well, we're giving a year in review.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about that's a year in review related?
We are reviewing the
Look,
year.
let's talk about what we should have brought up right at the beginning. We
It's not
found
that I want to talk about. It's just like it's just that's what the show is supposed to be about.
What about
Well,
all the
there's a lot of
fireworks?
couples-
Here is
there's
a
lot of
bombshell for right
couples
now.
were split during 2020 due to COVID, right? And then there's those couples who stayed together during 2020. How the fuck did they do that?
We did it.
I know. I don't know how we
Mikey?
did it.
Well, I don't know. A lot of alcohol, maybe drugs.
I mean, it's a good
There's
time.
also a lot of couples that are gonna get the fuck out as soon as there's a vaccine.
This is a good time for long-standing booty calls. I would say, we don't live with someone.
Well, I would say
2 weeks
putting a wall.
they bring over some ass like it's supplies.
How about sex in year in review? Let's review our sexual adventures in 2020, perhaps.
All right.
Okay, Dan.
If
You
we want to
start.
do
What's
it.
your,
I'll
You
start.
go first, Juanita.
sexual adventures, Dan?
I didn't have any.
He's in a steam room.
I didn't have any sex in 2020, and I don't think I had any in 2019 either. But maybe at the beginning of 2019, I did.
What?
I don't know what to tell you.
You
Was
went
that in the book?
You went 2 years without intercourse.
It's a novel. It's not. It's not. I've gone longer without intercourse, but
What about like video, like jerking off?
obviously.
I mean, tubining it. Any tubining?
No, I didn't tube.
Did you?
Tubining?
Is that during a Zoom meeting? It has to be.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because but what happens is if you're not going to a comedy club,
Yeah.
that cuts off a supply of meeting women, and then
That's
a lot
right.
of people don't want to hang out
But
with
you should have
because they're
backup.
afraid- Now I should have
But even if you were like now, you gotta. It's almost like when Eddie Murphy had that joke about what comes after AIDS, and it turns out it's this. It's fucking COVID, where it's such more of like you just touch somebody and you might die.
What about the
really
apps,
open.
Dan?
I gave up on Tinder. Are people doing that? I mean, are people skittish about getting together with strangers? You have a girlfriend, I guess, since before the pandemic.
Right. I got
Well, that
lucky.
answers
Yeah,
that.
you all laughed when Mike got a mail order bride, but guess what? He's happy, and now the rest of you tubing at home.
We're all waiting for Norm.
What about Hatem's sexual 20?
Yeah.
He had a heart attack. Leave him alone.
He had a heart attack from so much
Dude,
fucking.
I was in the
okay?
hospital for half of 2020.
Now, did you have to find a girl with a heart problem also?
Yeah, because we need something in common, you know?
Yeah, but
we need to have something
Hatem,
like
but Hatem, prior to 2020, prior to the heart transplant, you were literally hooked up to a device that would preclude, I would imagine, or make it very, very difficult in any case to have any relations. But now, since the heart transplant, you're back on the market. I mean, you can do it.
Well, he is a Middle Eastern, so
I've always been in the market and I always have device with me. Thank you, Mike.
Did you have sex with the device prior?
No, I did not.
Wait, he wore something that made it so he couldn't have sex? Was it
He
like
had
a
a
duck cone.
No, but he had like an
I had
artificial
a
heart he was carrying
artificial
around.
heart.
They put a cone around his penis.
Man
Like,
from having sex.
What's
Okay,
that?
my husband's eye almost got taken out. Do you remember that, babe? And didn't stop him
What?
from having sex.
your eye got almost taken out during sex?
Yeah, he got hit in the eye with a magazine, got a paper cut in your eye, and it's like so painful. And I was like, oh my God, you need to go to the hospital. He's like, not before we have sex.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, I have a
I
point.
mean, don't do one or the other. Don't read during sex.
Well, anyway, that was a long time ago.
It's a lot of multitasking.
He hasn't read since.
What about prediction for 2021?
I predict I won't have sex then either.
I predict we're going to have a great 2021. I think things are going to be great. I think the vaccine is going to roll out faster than people realize.
Okay.
And I think we're going to be fine.
And I have somebody here who took the vaccine. Here we go. And we'll see the side effect on him.
How did he get the vaccine?
Oh, nice.
How did Ian get the vaccine? That's not possible.
Unless there's a character coming, unless it's a character that he's doing.
Ian?
No.
Ian!
Hi. They don't believe that you took the vaccine.
I believe it.
You don't believe what?
That you took the vaccine.
Yeah, I took the vaccine.
How did
you get it? I thought they were testing it on black people first.
I'm black on the inside because I smoke cigarettes, so they let me in.
Ian, tell those interested, how did you get the vaccine ahead of the line?
I had to suck my way to the top, Noam. What are you willing to do to get the vaccine, Noam? You got to ask yourself.
Ian,
what?
How did you get the vaccine? Is a serious question.
I didn't get the vaccine. You think I got the vaccine?
I was just gonna tell Noam, pucker up.
Yeah.
If there is one vaccine between you and Noam, who would take it? You would give it to him or you take it?
Noam's older. He'd have to take it.
It'd be Noam, obviously.
Yeah,
Really?
look at that gray.
Because I'm older. Ian wants spots. I'd have to get it.
Yeah, I got to keep working. So Noam, please take the vaccine. Noam first.
Are we
I would give it to you first, Ian.
I guess.
Okay, and
I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all later, but not like now. So take care.
Where are you going, Jay? Where are you going?
And
I'm like an
we
hour.
have-
I gotta get going. I got stuff. I got all sorts of important things.
Jay got the vaccine.
I got to update
So-
my foot page.
We're quarantined. Nobody's buying that.
He's getting the vaccine.
All right, I'll
She's
talk
had
to you.
enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, the roastmaster himself, Jeff Ross.
Woohoo!
That's a beautiful home. he's-
Da-da-da.
Da-da-da. Here you go. The legend.
Let me get a.
Oh shit!
Is that a Christmas tree, Jeff?
I got a Christmas tree this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Hi everybody! What a treat to see all comics again.
Hey Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
This is great.
Happy New Year, man, and Christmas and all.
Thanks. How's the show going?
Oh, there you go.
Wait until Noam came.
It's
think,
fine.
Oh, you know.
Better now that you're here.
I think it's fine.
Now that you hear it's back, where are you calling from?
I'm in Studio City, California, in my home where I've been for 10 fucking months.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, it's not a bad place to be for 10 months. It looks pretty
No,
nice.
Jeff's got a fine home. I will tell you, it's a fine home.
Kurt's been.
Yeah, I'll hang at your home for 10 months, Jeff. You want to switch?
You're all invited, except well, you know who you are.
No.
I'm going
Noam?
to preview so I can get the full treatment. Everybody looks good. Wow, the Dwormans, hi you guys.
You lost weight.
I don't know about that.
Any
I don't know about the background, Noam. You look like you're in a hostage video or something.
Oh, yeah, that was that's from our other show. Jeff, so what's your take on 2020?
I thought it was pretty good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
I think it's
No complaints.
You know, we're gonna.
That was the wrong one.
Why? Did you not have a good time?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. It was an awful fucking year. I'm luckier than most. I'm comfortable. I adopted 2 dogs, 2 German Shepherds, Nazis, and whenever they misbehave, I stick their head in the oven. And I miss performing and I miss the audiences, but I don't miss it the way a lot of my friends do. I miss the comics more than I miss performing. I don't know what that says about me. I miss the before and after the show more than anything. So when I get a call from a friend, even like texting, I do less texting and more FaceTiming just because it feels like a better connection with the person you're talking to. And I'm working hard to like stay positive. And, you know, I don't know how the rest of the comics feel, but like we all get depressed, we all get into our own mishigas, but I feel like we have a responsibility to stay positive and cheer up the people that we live with or the people that we talk to, because there's no freaking comedy, there's no hugs even. So it's up to us like to try to make people laugh. I know it sounds corny, but it really helps.
Have you been getting
I tell my wife the same, that she has a responsibility to stay positive and keep me happy too, and she doesn't. I have told her that.
So Jeff, are you gonna roast 2020? I think that will be hilarious.
You know, I don't know what's left. It's a very roastable year, but it's also like going to be a punchline forever. Kind of like, you know, it's almost as funny as 9/11, but not quite.
Hopefully it will be a punchline, unless, you know, 2021 is even worse, then it'll replace.
I don't think so. I think, you know, human resilience, and I think here's my take on it, and I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Comedy is going to come back. It's going to be bigger than ever. Music's going to come back. It's going to be bigger than ever. But what's gone forever, I think, is close-up magic. It's over. No one's gonna any.
All I can say is I wouldn't fuck 2020 with B. Arthur's cock.
Letterman.
Hey Dan, that's
hilarious.
You guys are funny. Dan, it's great to see you. Where have you been quarantined?
I'm in my apartment and I don't live with anybody, so it's been particularly isolating. And I was in Aruba for a couple of weeks, which is where Mike Vecchione is now.
Yeah.
With Aruba Ray Ellen and Aruba Tony V. Who are you down there with, Mike?
Brian Scott McFadden.
Oh, he's cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
Jeff, I remember back in 9/11, I think the day of the next day, you were talking about making a documentary, remember? And you wanted to document everything. And would you do something like that for comedy for 2020? Do you think it's the same feel, or?
I feel like that kind of thing could hit. I've been taking pictures of everyone I do see and taking pictures of the food I'm eating and try to, you know, just try to chronicle it or have mementos, and maybe that'll turn into something someday. I do remember, as I look at the empty stage, 9/11 was a Tuesday. I went to the Cellar on Saturday, but like, you know, we didn't have masks. It was like you went like this because there was still ash in the air, and you know, you didn't want to say it, but you knew it, that it was human ash in the buildings, and it was really awful. But I remember going to the Cellar, there were maybe 15 people in the audience, and that footage did wind up being in my documentary about my trip to Iraq a couple of years later. You know, it was just footage from the, you know, the monitor that you guys keep, you know, up top. But I remember making a joke about how everybody was being all patriotic and that my grandfather even enlisted in Old Navy.
Well, I mean, this is our biggest brush with history, right? I mean, 9/11 was a big brush, but it was more of a news story than actually a personal impact for most of us, right? And it really does make you wonder.
Not all of us.
Could you imagine being like in Germany in the 30s or in Iraq in Baghdad when the bombs start coming down. I mean, they're like it really is humbling to think. It really makes me think how lucky we are, really. Like this is the worst we're gonna go through, probably, knock on wood, as Americans. And around the world, I mean, this is nothing compared to the way history comes down on other people at other times.
No, we had Instagram, we had Facebook, we were able to talk to each other, we had email, you know, when you talk, you know.
We had Uber Eats.
We had Uber Eats, which really are the true heroes in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, things have changed, you know, like Noam said, it's a moment in history, you know, even religion's changing. Wait, let me get this. Yeah, even religion's changing. Like for years when somebody sneezes, we say, God bless you. Now if someone sneezes, we say, Jesus Christ, get the fuck away from me.
How can you do that, Dan?
Dan's still riding high off his B. Arthur Dick joke.
B. Arthur, roast in peace. I miss her. Next to my entire career.
But are things better like in California than
no,
horrible.
Places? No, they're terrible. Have you been watching the news?
No, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying in the 2020 overall.
Well, it's really hard on the restaurants because, you know, as bad as it is in New York, because people anticipated being able to eat outside. A friend of mine owns a restaurant, Craig's on Melrose. He's already invested back in his place what he invested initially 10 years ago.
Wow.
You know, it's a doubling down in your entrepreneurial spirit, which is heartbreaking. I mean, why should you build something and then you got to build it again? Like we're it's really tough. But you know, what can I say? Like this is like you guys said, it's just, you know, we're luckier than most. We have computers, we have friends. You know, we're getting through it. But we're living in a hugless world, and what drives me crazy, and not to get on a pedestal, but comedy, you know, with divorce rate and suicide rate and depression so high, the fact that comedy, even outdoor comedy, isn't considered essential at this point seems bad for our mental health. And I'm in California where everyone says the show must go on, and that's all been bullshit. There's been none of that.
Did you, by the way, do you know Tom Cruise, or do you have any thoughts on his rant on the set of Mission Impossible?
Well, Tom and I had a long talk about it afterwards.
Well, maybe you've met everybody. I assume you've met the guy.
I have met the guy a couple of times, and you know, I think it's making the bosses, like people who own businesses, and Tom Cruise is essentially producing that movie. I think it puts a lot of pressure on the people that aren't allowed to complain, and those are the people who write the checks. And you know, nobody wants to lay people off on Christmas, and nobody wants to shut down a movie and send 500 people home. So yeah, I think there's a lot of unsung, not heroes necessarily, but the responsibility that people have to keep their businesses afloat is a lot of pressure. A friend of mine owns an animation studio here, and they're very successful, but you know, he's trying to bring everybody back to work, and he said suddenly they're treating like my business like a democracy. You know, like everyone's weighing in on what the protocol should be, and him and his three partners like, no, we're in charge. We're going to decide what. But then you're adding, you know, all this. You know, people are, for the first time in history, really have a voice in the workplace, which is great, but it's also tricky for the people that are in charge. Yeah.
Well, I thought Tom was right. He seemed like he was right on the money to me. I mean, you know,
he was on the phone with Hollywood every night. He was telling all of Hollywood's calling and saying, it's up to you now, Tommy boy.
What did he say, Dan? I didn't hear it.
Just like, you know, I'm on the phone with insurance companies and producers, and we have to get this movie done and on time, and because people weren't obeying the protocols. And he was like,
there's a theory that he leaked it on purpose. That he like knew that it was recording. He went off, and then they leaked it to make him look like really good and drum up shit for his movie.
He was saying like, I see you without a mask, you're fucking gone. I see you doing, you know, bang the protocol, you're fucking gone.
Mission Impossible. If you don't go see it in theaters, June 20th, you're fucking gone.
It was.
He might have done that. It could have been. I mean, I didn't think about that. It's certainly possible.
But even if he did, it's a good message.
It's a great message. Do you think it was Scientology?
Probably.
I think so. I think Scientology.
Listen, he's posed as a straight man for over 30 years. I think he could pull off.
I think he is a straight man. I know.
Angry rants just never work.
It would have been a lot better if it
doesn't
came
matter
from
how
with a
justified
list.
they are, how in the moment appropriate they were. It's like listening to yourself having really loud sex over morning coffee. Like if it was in the context of the time, it was appropriate, but it just doesn't carry as a recording. And these rants.
No, did you hear it?
Oh, it was a lot of. What do you mean?
I thought to myself, I was like, "That's Tom Cruise is me." I could see myself walking through the place and being like, doing the same thing.
Oh, that's a stretch.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I know.
Liz knows. Liz.
It's true. You don't know what happened before or after. Like,
yeah,
these
you're
people
not
could
wearing
have
a
been.
mask, you're gathering and
Yeah.
you're doing all the things you're not supposed to be fucking doing. I
You're
can see myself going.
You're
off
putting
and being
people
like,
in danger.
Of all the secretly recorded rants, my all-time favorite has to go to Mel Gibson. I think nobody landed it better
That was
than
my
him.
summer jam, dude. For that.
Which one he had? Oh, the one with his Russian girlfriend. We said he's going to put her in the ground.
Russian whore wife.
Yeah, and he goes, "You make me want to smoke, dumb little cunt."
I deserve a blowjob.
Yeah.
I just saw The Patriot on Netflix again for the first time in 20 years. And
good.
Is there anything in that movie that's historically accurate? I know this is way off topic, but all right, never mind.
I think the
No,
ninjas
but you should definitely act like you're in The Patriot and shoot down a good riff, Dan. That was great.
I like that you're getting your information from this podcast, Dan. You could just Google it and find out if it's right or wrong.
How did you guys feel?
It's all bullshit, but I just thought it would make for an interesting. I mean, there's a part where like the British guy locks everybody in a church and burns the church down. I mean, it's a little bit much, don't you think? I don't think. I mean, they were. I mean, all right. They wanted to keep the colonies, but they weren't quite that extreme, I don't think. But in any case,
what did you want to say?
How did you feel? How did you guys feel about the bombshell of when we found out that Ellen isn't nice? That's pretty much.
Oh, that's a 2020 thing.
That ruined the year for me. That was it.
That was over.
Is Ellen? Can you imagine being that kind of slow where you're like, followed that story or
How does she just not lean into it and just yell at her staff at the beginning of every show?
She should have yelled about masks, and we'd all be kissing her ass.
Yeah.
that was a stand-up. I'm not.
Don't you remember what's her name? Martha Stewart, notoriously like way worse. Like you bring her like coffee and she'd splash in your face.
Yeah, but Martha Stewart rebranded as being best friends with Snoop Dogg. So everyone loves her name.
They both been to jail.
Ellen just needs a likable black for her to saddle up next to, and everything.
She's not. She better hook up. She's not going to munch her way out of this one.
Oh my god.
So what else?
What's that dead animal on your couch?
Oh, that's my dog Gizmo.
Dead animal.
He's very enthusiastic about all of this.
Is that really the dog in the billboards?
No, with a bill. What, the Juskow ones?
The signs in the city with the pug? Is that really?
No, no, that's just dumb Dave Juskow being, being like,
another
it's
Juskow.
You don't believe anything, Noam. You thought I got the vaccine. You thought Gizmo was on a billboard. What's next?
Isn't Juskow's football show on against this show? Am I crazy?
Yes, it is.
No shows, and now you have competing shows.
It's fine. Steve Fabricant is watching Juskow's.
Does anybody have any idea when they will be able to get the vaccine?
Well, I think for all of us, it's right. I mean, unless somebody, Hatem, I think can get it sooner.
Yeah,
he should have it by now.
I think Hilaria Baldwin's gonna get it sooner because she was faking that she's Spanish. So
Hilaria.
She'll get it sooner than if she was white.
Does the dog already have it?
But even if by the time they get to us, they've already vaccinated all the high risk people, I don't know if they'll think.
Well, I think the definition of high risk people.
We're not getting this vaccine.
I have a question about Hilaria Baldwin. Something about that story I don't understand. Is it possible that that Alec Baldwin is finding things out now for the first time, or has he known this all along and was just playing along?
He's got it now.
Wait, gotta know what?
Don't want to talk about the vaccine more?
That she's not Spanish.
She's not?
No,
No,
she
I
came,
mean, like-
apparently it came out that she's just white and from Boston.
Yeah,
What?
and she like
Yeah.
her family didn't even move to Spain until she was like 18 or something like she graduated
from
from
South
a high
America.
school in Cambridge.
No, she's
and
from
then
Boston.
Her parents moved to Mallorca or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, they
she's
moved to
from
an
Boston.
island.
She made
Yeah.
a statement that came out and said, "Fuck you, I'm wicked Spanish."
Wait, so but isn't Spanish kind of like? So wait, what, is there like a controversy about it? Like,
Well,
he
she
really
was
hoping-
telling the world
His
that
family.
she was like Spanish from Spain,
That doesn't get
born
you.
there.
But
She,
Spain,
like-
is white. Spain's white compared
Yeah.
to.
Oh yeah, it's pretty
What's
white.
it?
But she was also, speaking English with a Spanish accent on again, off
But
again.
she grew up in Spain, right?
No, she grew up in Boston. That's
Oh,
the
not
whole
at all?
thing. That
Not
bitch,
at all, no.
She
Oh,
barely
I-
lived there.
What's her parents' ethnicity? That's
They're white and whiter.
What's
Um,
her?
Just like Sean King.
Well, so by the way, is
Sean,
that's people from Spain.
What?
What?
Spain is white. It's Europe. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not.
Spain is white. Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't even. I thought she's like from there. And
No, no. She
is
like
that her
was,
name?
she was
I
her
agree.
name
She's
is
the
Hillary.
conquistador.
Her
Her real
name
name's
is
Hillary.
Her government
Yeah.
name is Hillary.
She changed it to
and
Hilaria.
She like went for the Spanish.
I feel bad for
Hilaria.
her though.
Hilaria sounds like something David Tell would say. That's Hilaria.
I think I have a soft spot for Alec Baldwin. I kind of like the guy, and now I feel bad for the Baldwin family. I know that
But
that doesn't make sense.
What did she get from being Spanish? I don't understand. Like,
I have no
Street
idea.
She-
cred.
I
Street
don't
cred.
get it.
Street
Free
cred.
college admission.
what is she like? Is she DJ somewhere? What is-
She, I don't, she.
This is
Who
the biggest.
knows? They're saying she like fakes her accent and fakes,
Some of the writers from the roast wrote me privately and said they were so upset when we roasted Alec Baldwin that none of us knew about this Hilaria.
Yeah, really.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Well, it's like fun to have something stupid to think about.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I say throw her in a bullfight, see what happens.
Hey.
Prove yourself.
All right, and Dan. So, and what about the issue of prioritizing minorities for the vaccine? Where are you on that? That's a hot issue.
But though that's been scrapped already. I mean, it was a
Yeah, they
stupid
walked it
idea.
back.
Not in Maine. It has state by state. It's still going on.
Maine, where there's 5 minorities?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm driving to
Let them
Maine.
go. Put them to the front of the line.
Juanita's first in line in Maine.
Emma Willman.
I mean, at times like this, I really value marrying a colored girl. So,
I think they should write "tested on minorities" on the box of vaccine. But guys, don't worry.
you can she get it first, Liz, if she goes to Maine?
I mean, I don't know how they're rolling it out there. I really think it depends
Is
how they
that
roll it out.
law, what they're putting into place? So if there's a line, they make Whitey go to the back of the line? That's where it is?
Yeah, we deserve it.
But unless there's some evidence that for genetic reasons, I mean, there are diseases that have, like cystic fibrosis is mostly people from Northern Europe, I believe.
Tay-Sachs. The Jews get Tay-Sachs.
If they could find, sickle cell African American. So if they could find some link that there's a genetic predisposition, then they would have a case that you could be made. But if it's just because it's just like payback against Whitey, then, or whatever.
What if you're a slow Polak? Do you get it faster?
It's all ridiculous, but I'll step in the front of the line for sure.
Yeah, she'll take it.
Like, fuck that. I'm like, whatever.
But the thing is, this is my wife. She's brown, but she's Indian brown. She's not actually minority. She's
What does that mean? Brown is brown.
no. Okay, go ahead.
I know what you mean. Which Crayola color?
The point is,
is
she
this
doesn't.
Indian brown?
She's like a Cheyenne and
This
peach.
is not oppressed brown. This is highest earning income group in the country brown. It's not the same brown. But go,
Well, go ahead. Get the vaccine. You'll get autism before
All right,
all.
all right. Okay, go ahead. Jeff, you wanted to say something. I saw it in your body language. Go ahead, Jeff.
You can say it, Jeff.
Oh, he's
forgive you.
frozen.
That's what he wanted to say.
That's what he wanted to say.
Bye.
He's like, I haven't. So who should get the vaccine first?
Tom
No.
Cruise. We
Tom
already
Cruise.
said Tom Cruise.
Yeah, definitely.
Receive
Anybody
the
who
pressure.
flips out.
Yeah.
Old
Definitely.
people should get it first.
Yeah, old people.
What about prisoners?
That's just what we need. A legion of old people with autism. That's exactly what we need.
I think when you say like high risk people, I think it shouldn't be the old people or anything. It should be the people that don't wash their hands or hug you every time they see you or stuff like that. These are the high risk people.
Wait, are you able to get the vaccine because of the heart transplant?
There's no studies. I can if I want to, but the doctor says there's no studies yet, so I have to wait.
He's had COVID, so he's got the antibodies already.
Well, that's my question. Are people who have had COVID going to the back of the line on the vaccine?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should go to the back of the fucking.
Well, actually,
Trump hasn't gotten the vaccine yet. He said he's waiting for his doctors to tell him it's the right
Trump
time.
loves us. But you know who took the vaccine? Was AOC took the vaccine.
Oh yeah, she did that like on Instagram Live. She was like
She
the
did it on
first one.
OnlyFans.
She needed money.
That's crazy that she took the vaccine.
Got it right in her
Real quick, she did.
How is she taking? Like she's so young. Like why would she?
Because it's like continuance of governance. Like everyone, has to in government.
How old is she?
Because super hot young
32.
Latinas are not used to waiting in line for anything. That's just
the term is Latinx.
She's not super hot.
Shirley thinks is
Not
that
super hot with him.
Jeff is back. She's not super hot.
For the Senate, or for the Congress, she's super hot.
She is super hot.
Which is better than fine.
I'm trying to say Noam here saying she's not super hot.
Are you saying she's filibuster hot, man?
Jeff, you wanted to say something before you lost.
Makes me want to filibuster nut.
What happened?
Noam was asking a question when you hang up on him.
I can't remember. Did I hang up or did I get thrown off?
No, you hung up.
Hung up.
I think you were.
Hatem booted you.
You were frozen.
Never.
I can't
How old is
remember.
AOC? Is she like in her 30s?
Yeah, she's like 32 or something.
Come on. She is not going to wait in line for a vaccine.
Yeah, look at that
Yeah.
titty. I was sent to the back of the.
How'd you like to get vaccinated the hard way?
Yeah, I got your vaccine right here, Toots.
Boys, that's a dog.
Oh, here we go.
Look at that dog. Oh my god.
She's a cutie.
That's Nipsey.
Oh,
Nipsey?
so
Yeah.
cute.
Like Nipsey Russell?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh wow.
You're on Nipsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get that dog from like a high class breeder?
No, I got it from a rescue.
A rescue.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
good for
German
you.
Oh, God
And they
bless.
rescued it from a low class breeder, apparently.
Jeff, what are your prediction for 2021? Is it going to get better or worse here?
I think it's going to get better. I'm an optimist. I always see the silver lining and everything. And I think everybody's connecting in a good way. And the comics, the funny ones, are going to thrive. And I think it's going to be okay. I mean, we don't have a choice, right? It's got to be okay.
I'm with you. I agree. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a big slingshot effect.
Let me ask you this question: if for whatever reason they say, you know what, we fucked up, this vaccine doesn't work. I mean, then what? Then do we just say, you know what, we're not staying in anymore? You know, I mean, I think people just be like, well, we're leaving the house anyway, so fuck you.
Then it'll be Darwinism for real, and that's really scary thought. But you know,
Well,
Yeah, but what's the point in going outside what's the point in going out if no businesses are open?
Yeah.
If the vaccine didn't work, people start going out, but like the monoclonal antibodies, there are a lot of treatments actually, which were lowering the death rate a lot, even without the vaccine. So one way or another, we'd come out of it, but that's it's not feasible. The vaccine is working and it's going to work, I think.
Well, it seems like it's working better than anybody predicted. I mean, because I remember Fauci was saying, you know, we'll be lucky if it's 60%, that's a good thing. And he wasn't even thinking about 95%. He didn't mention it. Maybe he was just trying to keep our expectations.
Do you think it's going to be like, you know, how like when I went to China, people just wear masks all the time, whether there's an ongoing pandemic or not, because of back since bird flu. So do you think there's going to be still masks and shit?
Yeah, I think
I'd like it's going to be like that.
You know what's funny is like when I had my surgery, not knowing everything, I have to wear a mask for 3 months, and I came out and everybody's wearing masks. I was like, what the fuck? Why is all these people had transplants too?
Who would have thought Michael Jackson was ahead of everyone?
Yeah.
Yet again.
I think
First
handshake
with the pedophilia, then with the mask.
He knew, he saw where the wind was blowing.
But handshakes is a better question because masks are annoying, but not shaking hands is not annoying. Not shaking hands is fine. I mean, it's
First of all, shaking hands had nothing to do with COVID. We know this now. It's all about breathing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Noam, I haven't had the flu I haven't had a cold all year. So I don't know if that's because I didn't shake hands.
That's not true. That's not true. One night at the Cellar, we had to change mics out because you were coughing all over the mic.
By all year, I meant since the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying since COVID, I haven't gotten sick with anything. And I don't know if it's because I'm inside, because I'm washing my hands more, or because I don't know what the factor is. It might be shaking hands.
It could be that you're staying
I
home.
think everything's going to go back to the way
Stay at
it was.
home. Juanita's right. I think.
Yeah. But my question is, does this vaccine work on the new strain of COVID?
Yes, it does.
How do you know?
Because I read the papers.
Who cares what you read? How do you fucking know?
This is my problem. This is the one thing of this is the one ultra minority thing about my wife. She believes in conspiracy theories and only conspiracy
Because
theories.
obviously they made this vaccine way before the new strain. All right?
Welcome to Divorce Live with Juanita.
I cannot believe we're still together. I'm telling you.
You can believe
I think that all viruses mutate. So
that's right.
So the vaccines that we have for the measles still work, and for all this other shit.
HPV apparently still works.
The flu mutates every year, and we get a new vaccine every year. Why is it not the same with COVID?
The flu, I think, is the exception, by the way.
And why not COVID? You know something that I don't know?
Well, that's what I've read.
All right, whatever. You're
right,
both in that
you're-
I don't know.
I saw that too, Juanita. Thank you
There's
for
no
saying
real
that.
answer there.
I agree with you.
Real
Jeff,
Judy. We all saw it.
can you roast my wife, please?
You wouldn't dare.
Juanita, let me see what you're wearing. Let me see what you're
Stand
wearing.
up, do a turn.
She looks like she's.
Wearing tights. I don't know what to say.
I'm going to press the mute. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh my God.
First of all, I don't remember seeing Juanita's face on the poster that Hatem promoted. So
Special guest.
Yeah.
TBA.
Unmute her. I want to hear her.
Go ahead. She's unmuted.
He has no choice. I pay the bills. All right, go.
True. I can't imagine what your fucking cell phone is, Juanita, the way you talk.
Actually, I'm not on the phone at all. It's very hard to reach me on the phone. I can barely find my phone during the day.
I know Noam doesn't want to hear you talk anymore because he has 30 fucking guitars.
Actually, to be honest, that's a green screen. But I do have 30 guitars.
This is what I would like our basement to look like, because he has that many guitars, but it doesn't look like that.
Juanita, let me ask you something.
This is actually my basement here. Something like that.
Juanita, let me ask you something. If we would do 2020 all over again, can you do it with Noam again? All over.
Normal again?
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh,
I really
come
wouldn't.
on. Say
This
something.
man does so much. He's homeschooling my kids. He's giving guitar lessons, piano lessons.
You make your kids write.
He's spreading the virus, you're saying?
Spreading the virus to the kids.
That's the nicest thing she's ever said to me.
It's true. He does those things. Like, he doesn't maintain the house or anything. He's not a fixer.
Yeah.
I fixed the ice machine.
You don't fix. All right, you fix the ice machine. You don't fix shit around the house. You don't take out the trash. But
I
he
don't take out
does.
trash.
He homeschools the kids. He does guitar lessons, piano lessons. I really appreciate that.
How's Manny's guitar coming on?
When you say homeschooling, does it count that he taught them how to install plexiglass between the booths at the counter? Is that a trade? Is that considered a trade?
Because according to Puerto Ricans, that's a skill. It does count. You know what I'm saying? That does count. He's teaching them skills. It doesn't matter.
I can't believe my wife said something nice about me in public, no less. Are you been drinking?
A little.
That has to explain it.
Hey, I gotta go. I love you guys.
Love you, Vecchione.
Bye, bye.
Bye,
All right,
Matt.
Happy New Year, guys. Good to see you all.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Jeff.
Bye,
Bye,
Liz.
Noam.
Bye, Noam.
Guys.
Bye, Liz. And
Bye, Dan. Kurt.
later.
What my wife is referring to is that I won't do any housework, and I know I should, but I won't do it. I don't know. It's not because she's a woman. I don't ask her to do it
I
for
didn't
that.
say housework. You put
Yeah.
words in my
But
mouth.
I fix things.
No, you don't.
Okay.
And you don't pick up after yourself.
You need to
That-
fix
that
the
house-
volume on that screen.
Listen.
So, Juanita, what's the worst thing happened in 2020 for you?
Well, Juanita dislocated her shoulder decorating for
Halloween.
For Halloween. We had,
Yeah.
a house. We had 2 broken bones.
No, actually,
What's
that
What's
was
that? We had 2 broken bones in our house during lockdown.
Yeah. But I want to tell you that was the best and the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Because they gave me ketamine in the hospital.
Oh, it's so good, right?
What? I never knew how good that could be. I was like, oh my God.
You know what? Next time Juanita's on the show, I'm going to play the videos because I videotaped her right when she came out of it.
Oh my
It was
God.
hilarious.
No, play it right now. Play it right now.
I gotta find it. I gotta find it.
Amazing.
And we
It
have
was
David
ridiculous.
Juskow, Esther Koo, and Boris Kaykin with us. Hello.
What
Hello.
up?
Esther, you in the car? I can't hear
Yep.
The phone is actually outside the car.
Turn your
Esther,
mic on.
your mic's not working, Esther.
We can't hear you.
Happy birthday,
She told me we
Ian.
were laughing at something funny she said.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Juskow. It's my birthday, December 31st.
Yeah.
Oh, we celebrated together last year, Ian.
I
Yeah.
know, it's so nice.
And happy
You
birthday,
were there too,
Juanita,
Jeff.
too.
It was
Yeah,
great. Thanks, Dave.
Listen, I got to take a break for a minute. I hit the Juanita ran upstairs. The kids are screaming for some. I'll be back in a few minutes.
What? I just got here.
Ah.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's
the
in
kids are
charge?
screaming.
Wait, can Juskow be in charge while you're gone? Or
I didn't know I was in charge. I would have said more. Yeah, go ahead, Juskow. You take over, Juskow.
Yeah,
I will be in
tell us
charge,
what's
Jeff.
going on in 2020, Juskow.
What? 2020 is all about my dog in the background, as you can see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was watching the show. It was really fun. Jeff's roasting was outstanding.
Always.
Jessica, I heard your show is pretty good tonight.
It was okay. I think everybody was pretty angry.
You had an all-star cast. You had Wayne Fetterman
Yeah. David Wayne and Wayne Fetterman.
and Wayne Fetterman.
Ackerman.
Oh, wow.
It was an all LA broadcast. It was
So you
nice.
guys, what's your take in 2020, Boris and Esther? I don't know if you're frozen or you can hear us, or you just this is your face.
We can't hear
No.
you, Esther.
We can't hear you. Let me text her. All
My
right. So
take
what's your
is
take
that
on?
Dr. Dolittle 4 wins it all in the Academy Awards, the one with Robert Downey Jr. That is my prediction that the magic ball says that the world will blame the Jews 20% more, and everybody will be okay with that, and we'll be able to move on.
Will Dave Juskow be doing any more of those shows, like the Godfather type shows that you did?
You know, we should be doing them on Shut Up,
You
Liz.
could do them on Zoom. That's where you could do them. You should do like table reads of those shows on Zoom.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
that's
No, I
what you
should.
do.
I should totally do those. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Jeff, do you feel the comedy is going to be different? Like I asked this question before to Judy. I think like in elsewhere but New York and LA, like in the South, like where it's warmer and stuff, like Texas. I know a couple of comedy clubs are opening there now. Like, do you think the map is going to change?
You know, it's interesting. Like I always like doing festival shows and outdoor shows, and a lot of
Yeah.
comics really hate them. But I've been doing like, you know, those oddball tours and going on tour with Chappelle and Chris Rock, and they'd always want to do these outside type. And I learned to love being outside and doing shows like that. So you don't get the laughs don't reverberate the same way, but it's a sky's the limit kind of feeling. So I think the good comics will adapt. You might have to make your act a little bigger, a little broader to fill the stage. If you even see Seinfeld, the difference between or Chris Rock, when they're at the Comedy Cellar, they kind of stand in one place. But when you see them on a big stage, they perform.
Yeah.
So
The shows they did
that stuff would be cool.
The stand-up comedy shows they did in the park were outside, and those were all actually pretty good. I mean, they didn't have a great sound system, so that was you always left with a sore throat. But the audience were great, and it was good.
Right.
Everybody did those.
Oh, Noam is back. Did you give Juanita more drinks and then came back?
Oh my God, she's been drinking. She said a little bit. She's been drinking like glasses of wine. That's why. Anyway, you guys don't mind me. Go ahead.
We're talking about
Netflix
outdoor
bumping
shows
mics.
and whether there's going to be a lot of outdoor shows coming up in the warmer areas like Florida and wherever
That
else.
was the
Well,
greatest.
I know Esther keeps doing outdoor shows all the time. She's in Florida now.
She's waiting for the cops to come. She got in a car accident.
She's in a Batman villain episode. Apparently.
She's in the garage with the door closed right now.
I don't. Bumping Mics. If anybody hasn't seen it, listening,
Oh
that is the greatest Netflix comedy thing. It is. They broke. You know, they found
I'm so
something
glad.
new.
I
to
agree
do.
100%.
It was unbelievably good. Like just unbelievably good.
The best part about it is that each episode's a half hour. That's why it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the craziest weekends I think I've ever worked at the Cellar.
You
That
worked
was
as hard as
amazing.
we did. You were
It was
amazing.
crazy. So much fun.
Wouldn't happen without Liz, right? Liz holds everything together.
It took
Oh,
a lot
that's
of
a fact.
pressure off me and Dave because it was Liz that we were talking to, and I don't have to worry like you do with other tapings and other venues where the pressure's so high and the network's watching everything, and it was just and for me and Dave, the whole room, the whole underground, the village underground is our stage. We don't stay on stage. We wander around. Like we even found Noam in the audience one night. I went around the side and I found my high school buddies in the audience, my Aunt Donna, Bruce Willis. Like Dave would do a lap, I would do a lap. So the seating was really important. We needed to work with Liz and her team in order to know exactly where everybody was. And
It was great.
the Fulton sisters were there one night, and
Oh my God.
Paul Rudd. We
Oh
planned
God,
these
the Paul
people.
Rudd night was amazing too. That was a great show.
Yeah, and then Gilbert and Bob Saget.
Jeff, I feel like
Gilbert and Bob
and Bruce
behind
Willis.
The scene of Bumping Mics will be even funny. Like you guys are like hysterical on and off the. I think behind the scenes will be also so good. Don't you think?
I hope so. I think so. Dave insists on doing it in LA next time, which I think is a good idea. And just when he calls me, he sells 4 jokes before he even says hello, and they're usually like about the drive-in that he performed at that night or whatever. And
I was with him that gig at RFK Stadium for 250 cars.
How did it go?
They honked. That was all. You couldn't hear laughter. It was just honking, whether they liked you or not. It was just honking over everything. It was the craziest thing I've ever done.
With Gaffigan, they told people not to honk.
They just
really?
flashed their lights, right?
Yeah, they
With
just were
Catherine?
able to flash their lights, and they pretty much even put a stop to that. Even like he pretty much wanted to make sure like nobody had any fun.
Wow.
Jeff, is Jarecki going to direct the next one?
That's TBD. I don't think so because he couldn't do the one. We were supposed to have shot one already.
Right.
And but now it's postponed, so maybe he can. I think it's up in the air until next fall.
He did a great job, right?
He's working on other cool stuff now, and I talk to him probably every other day. He's a great director, and for years he directed Capturing the Freedmans, a documentary. He directed The Jinx, and a film called All Good Things that Kristen Dunst and Ryan Gosling starred in. It was amazing. But this is serious stuff, and I always said to him, you'll add years to your life if you would just do a comedy, and I always encourage him to find a funny script. And then finally, Bumping Mics came along, and nobody had seen Dave and I's act more than Andrew Jarecki. So I threw it out there like, I can't get Dave to meet with this director. I can't get me. We were just kind of having a buddy talk, and we kind of looked at each other like, I didn't want to ask him because I didn't want him to say no, and he didn't want me to not ask him. We just had a moment of like, in our eyes, we just knew, I think you need to direct this, and I'm going to pitch it to Netflix. And he said, okay. And he wound up doing a great job. It was his first comedy, but it really is just another documentary about 2 killers.
This is a guy who's had an amazing life. He started out by inventing movie phone. Is that right?
Yeah, I should send him the link to this conversation right now.
And then he did this documentary and uncovered the killer in the final scene of the documentary. I mean, just one thing after another. You went to his house, right, Liz? Did you go to that?
Yeah. We went. Juskow was there, and Dave, and when we saw the first cuts,
Very warm family.
We were
house.
there for that.
Maybe I'm talking out of school, but I was so nervous, and Andrew Jarecki the director was so nervous about Attell seeing the early cuts.
Why?
Because
Have you met him?
Really? I mean, it felt like it was so easy.
Well, because now the show's in the can and the expectations are high, and it's a couple months later, and we're all perfectionists in our stand-up. So now suddenly you're collaborating with me and a director, and so I said, all right, well, let's do a screen. We finished the edit at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night in upstate New York, and I somehow got Liz Juskow to meet us at like 11.
Fabricant too.
And Steve to meet us to watch it, because I knew it would be a generous audience and Dave might take the cut better. And he didn't, but we worked it. It was a long night, but
hysterical.
In the end, I think Dave and I were both very happy with the way Bump It Mics came out. And thank you, Liz, again, and especially to everyone at the Cellar. And Noam's always good to the tapings. Like, a lot of venues will bust the comics balls about shooting there and stuff, but you guys understand that, it's important to us.
That's what makes the Cellar the best.
It's the best part of running the Comedy Cellar is things like that. The day-to-day stuff is not.
Speaking of things like that, is there any chance of this week at the Comedy Cellar coming back in any form whatsoever? Or the Comedy Central show, maybe on another streaming service, maybe self-produced?
I don't know. I mean, that was kind of a whole bitter experience for me. So I'm not hungry to do another TV show. But if somebody wants to do one, of course, it's good for the club and there's money in it. But as a creative outlet that I thought it would be for myself, it turned out not to be. So I'm now.
What didn't you like about it? You didn't do it your vision, your way, or?
Yeah, I in the end, I wasn't able to get any input in it really. And then there was all sorts of political considerations that went into which comics got on and didn't get on. And it was just, and I'm not, and everybody was nice with me. I mean, that's just, the reality is that whoever is paying for it gets to decide, and that's just, the way it turned out to be.
Well, it paid my rent for like 6 months, so thank you, Noam. I hope it comes back. It was an amazing show.
The show was pretty good at times. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. And I thought it was going to give me something to do, something that would be interesting. I thought I'd be involved. I just, I lost interest.
Next time they should have Noam's Corner, where you have to talk to Noam about the current events.
Yeah, I mean, actually,
they didn't like the segments that were not stand-up, but rather comics hanging around the table. I think, Noam, you wanted more richer, more real discussions rather than the kind of.
Yeah, they finally started doing that. I mean, most of the things that I bitched about by the end, they actually started doing, but they had to come to it on their own. But there were also things, there were a few controversies that happened at the club during the time of the show. One of them was Louis and the protests outside, and I forget what the other one was. And we had footage of all this, and I wanted to include this in the show, and they just wouldn't do it. And they went as far as they actually filmed the whole interview with the protesters who were protesting outside the club against Louis, and then they wouldn't run it. And these could have been really compelling episodes. It was a nationwide story. Anyway, there was something else too. Maybe Liz remembers.
I can't remember.
Nobody watches
Another big
Comedy
national
Central.
thing happened at the club.
I told you, Noam, you should do a show about trying to bring comedy back and reopening the Cellar and all that. Like, that will be very interesting. I think people will be.
I mean, this is very personal to me, but one of the things that hasn't lined up right in my life is that the tremendous success of the Cellar happened right in the middle, the meat of me raising my 3 young kids. So if this was all happening 10 years ago, I think I'd have different interests and different motivations now. But as it is now, anything that will take me away from my most important responsibility, which is my family, I'm very careful about getting sucked into that. So, but thank God, like I said, Liz is there and she's able to do a lot of these things for me.
Well, she needs a vacation to Paris and,
Paris.
Paris.
Get me a vaccine.
Well, not now. I'm trying to get you something out of this.
Good luck.
So, Jessica, Boris, and Esther, what's up with 2020? What's your take on all that before we end this? First of all, we have 2 more days. Do you think anything is going to happen, actually?
No, it's going to be quiet. And 2020 has been awesome for me. There's been no fear of missing out. I can just sit at home and watch TV. It's fantastic for somebody who just enjoys television the way I do.
Juskow, what is up with you? I mean, what's up with you professionally? What are you doing with yourself now?
I just do the show for the Comedy Cellar.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, well, over the summer I was opening for Gaffigan, which was fun, and a couple times for Rachel, and which was really great. And then after, it got cold, that was the end of that. So yeah, just that. I mean, I wrote a book. I wrote a cat book. So I sent it out to the publisher. It's about me and my cat solving mysteries.
Is that true?
Yeah, I swear to God.
This cat solves mysteries.
Yeah, it's called Selena and the Case of the Noble Bachelor. It's based on a Sherlock Holmes short story. It's fun.
They solved JonBenet Ramsey.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. No, of the case of a missing bride. It's fun. So, but that's it. Otherwise, I like doing the Tuesday shows.
And your podcast, you just had your anniversary.
Oh yeah, I do that, but I don't make any money from that. But I love doing it. Yeah, I just had the 300th show. Jeff was on, Dave was on, Gilbert. And I just interviewed Amy Heckerling on the last show, which was really great. I've been waiting to get her from Fast Times and Clueless, so that was exciting.
Oh, that's awesome.
And what about 2021? What do you feel about it?
He wants to get paid for his podcast.
Well, that would be nice, but I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know. You know what's great? I know this is crazy, but I'm having trouble sleeping because I get so excited to wake up and do nothing. And I get excited that, today's going to be a great day that I can just do whatever I want. And there's no responsibility.
I wish we all had the joy and wonderment of Juskow.
I get excited to watch TV and I get excited to work on the show.
Just watch the numbers go up on the news.
Yeah. Well, I go out on Wednesdays. Sometimes I see Liz and we have a drink. We used to have dinner when it was indoors with Attell and Nick and little Steve Fabricant. And now, so now we don't even go out at all. So I don't know, but I'm used to staying in. So it hasn't really been that different for me.
Noam, do you have any guests? Is Steve Fabricant there now?
He's been here for about a month. Yeah.
I know we were supposed to celebrate Hanukkah together and he wouldn't leave your house.
And he won't come down now. I told him to come down. We're talking about you and he won't come down. He's shy.
That's odd.
Yeah. Maybe you text him. He's, it's the best thing having him here. We're all really good friends.
He told me he was just going to stay there for a little and we were supposed to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. And I said,
never leaving.
Yeah, why would you leave? You just told me you have your own room. You got a full refrigerator, and I heard your place is a shithole. Why not stay at Noam's?
I don't want him to leave, and the kids love him.
Yeah,
My wife loves him. What it seems. Oh, there's Jarecki.
Oh, perfect.
Just for you.
Oh, my kid wasn't my.
All right, bye, Noam. Anyway,
what do you require for people to come over your house? Assuming you want them to come over, what is required testing wise?
You're talking to my son interrupted. You talking to me, Dan?
Yes. What is
they have to quarantine for a week at home and then take a test, and then they have to come directly from the test to my house.
And the test.
It's hard to get those tests now, though.
You mean like a test that gives you results right away, or a test that
instant test, which I know is not 100%. But
what about you? Do you get tested?
No, I'm home.
How do you know you okay?
I don't leave.
I always see that Periel going in and out of there. Where's she been at?
Yeah, she's quarantined also. We have two families that are quarantined, and we stay in a bubble.
Andrew,
how are you, Andrew?
Hey guys.
Hey.
I have to use a different virtual background. I have an idea.
We're just talking
My
about
virtual background has you in it. We're shining.
Oh, nice hallway.
Do you have the two girls in the back? Tilt your head.
Wait, is that?
Oh, no.
No, it's just me. I'm lonely. I'm just lonely guy in the hallway.
Noam started talking about you, and then
Stevie!
Stevie! And Juskow pulled up a picture of you, so I sent you the link so you can say.
That's very sweet.
Well, I'd say what a great, first of all, Andrew Jarecki and I have a little bit of a previous history because his roommate at Princeton, John Goldsmith, was one of my best friends growing up. And I actually spent one day at Andrew's parents' house, I guess, when I was a kid. I don't know if he doesn't even remember, I don't think. And then we
He's trying to forget.
Yeah, but I do remember it because we were young kids and I played guitar and we played music together and he was singing. I remember him being very talented. It always stuck in my head. And he corrected me on a note in the Baby Elephant Walk by Henry Mancini. So I don't know. And anyway, but then, you know, bumping mics was just so fantastic. And you were, you know, so warm and nice to us. And we, you know, just a big fan of yours.
Like dear friend Don Fabricant.
What?
You look like Noam's dear friend Don Fabricant.
I don't know who that is, but I
brother,
my older brother.
He's his older brother, Steve Fabric, who, as you can see, is also a handsome guy.
No, he looks nothing like him.
So Steve, you're staying at Noam's house? Is that what's happening?
I've been here for 3 weeks.
You're never
The
leaving.
reboot of House Guest with Sinbad.
Yeah. Just eating. I gained like 10 pounds.
Stay there forever, Fabricant. How great is that?
Well,
Can
the
I ask
pool's
Andrew
closed.
if well, we have the privilege of having him here. If the guy from Capturing the Freedmans, is he out of jail? The Freedman kid?
Oh yeah. Thank you for asking. He is. No, I'm happy to talk about it. He's actually out of jail. He has kind of a crappy life, but he's making the most of it. I mean, he's sort of like, you know, he has to be registered under the Sex Offender Registration Act. So even though A, he's not a pedophile, and B, just kind of a harmless guy, you know, people go by his house, they throw beer bottles at it because you can look on an app on your phone now and you can see where there are people who are registered sex offenders. So it's a little bit miserable to be Jesse Friedman, and his brother David is still New York's #1 birthday party entertainer. That's really true. Wow.
And the father killed himself, right?
Father killed himself, yeah, in jail. Not everybody accepts that, but it was pretty clear. He had a lot of medication that he had sort of stored up and then took it all at once, which is, you know. Anyway, any other sad pedophile stories?
I did write to Jesse Friedman because after I saw your movie, I was so moved by it and felt so much that he was not guilty that I felt compelled to write to him. I don't know.
He probably appreciated it. I mean, he was not guilty, and B, he you know, he never really fully got a break. Although he certainly got out of prison, but it was a terrible situation.
He spent 15 years in prison or something like that. How long was he in there?
Yeah, it was pretty heartbreaking, but you know, he's kind of like emerged as one of the more rational of the Friedman family. So he's doing okay. You know, he has like a weird business that I've never been able to understand entirely. So I assume it's probably a front for something much more sinister. But basically, he puts together like sets of books, like he'll find like 3 editions of some like original, you know, Tom Sawyer books, but then they go with some other Toms. He literally, like, that's how he makes a living, is he, like, on the internet, he assembles sets of books and then sells them to libraries. I mean, I know it's fascinating, but it is, it's hard, right? It's very hard if you're a registered sex offender. Yeah. It's really hard to get enough money together to be able to pay your rent because, like, nobody wants to give you the benefit of the doubt. It's hard.
Norm, would you hire a sex offender?
No,
I don't know. I mean, I'm a big believer in people being able to work after they've paid their debts, and I'm also a big fan of the Innocence Project. I think that's one of the greatest organizations ever, and they do important work. But you know, these are tough questions. Hire someone.
A guilty sex offender, specifically a guilty one.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I'm not proud to say it, but I probably.
But I know you hired.
We have hired. You remember John Capolino?
Yeah.
We have hired ex-cons before and had very good experiences with that, including a violent ex-con who turned out
look how good this is.
Turned out to be one of our greatest employees ever. So you know, it's, you know, I'm not against it at all. Sex offenders are a tougher case.
Yeah. You still let Sherrod perform there, so I mean, that's, thank you, folks.
So, Andrew, what about 2020? What's your take on 2020?
We're trying to figure out, is Trump going to go out with a whimper, or is he going to do something really dramatic and fascinating? And I mean, the last month or so, it's been so pathetic. The Trump watch has been so sad and awful and nothing interesting. He's got really no new story. He's got no new gig. So, who's going to come back and do the work? He doesn't do the work. So is he going to hire Steve Bannon? Is he going to make a new Fox News? Is he going to make like a new Trump channel? I don't know. It's hard to imagine that he's going to do anything all that interesting. So that's kind of going to be that'll be the hole in 2021, is that there's going to be no Trump to poke fun at. He may get his shit together, in the following year, he may start to get something going, but he seems pretty miserable.
Well, he sent an email saying that he would run for if people should vote for him if he runs for 2024.
Didn't I hear somewhere that they're talking about doing the Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice again?
Something.
That would be great.
That would be awesome. I would watch that.
That's what he's best at. That was a good show.
Whose dog?
Jeff, is that your dog?
Jeff, is that your?
When he first
Himmler or Goebbels?
when he first got into office, I ran into him in Florida, and he hadn't been inaugurated yet, but he'd won the election, and I was just hours back from Iraq on a USO tour, and I said, hey, I know he called me over to the table, and I said hi, and I said, I know you're new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's a great guy. He goes, yeah. How do you think Arnold's going to do on Celebrity Apprentice? So yeah, he's obsessed with that show. But I don't know. That would be a good place for him. I'd actually watch.
I think everybody would. I think he knows everybody would.
Jeff, do you remember were you there that night when his son got in trouble at the Cellar?
I don't know about that.
What happened?
Go ahead, Noam.
You know the story better than I do. Tell the story.
I mean, it was just he was sitting in the back, and he was just being a dick for the people around him and being loud and drunk or whatever. So the table next to him, a couple of guys just hit him with the bottles, and he got injured. And start taking him out, and then his girlfriend or whatever who was with, she's like, "Oh, it's Trump's son, and then the next day Trump called Manny, but we don't know what happened."
Manny's my father.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Well,
So the people that hit him with the bottle didn't know it was Trump's son.
What was the conversation?
With my father, he just he just told my father, listen, I want an apology and I want you to do this and that. And my father just said kind of like, yes, sir. And then nothing. And then Trump never followed up on anything. It was kind of.
Trump said, I'm going to allow the Jews to continue to live in this country for a period of time. I haven't decided how long based on how this conversation goes.
But I do remember what my father reported back to me was his take on it, which was actually, I think, a pretty good take. He said that this was a guy who was used to being listened to. And that was what my father walked away from. Like the way Trump, he just talked through him and expected him to listen and didn't really care what he had to say and hung up, and that was the end of it. And my father just played along.
That's the smart move.
Yeah, and then it went away. But at the
So
time,
he
it was
did
scary
get his
because
ass
Trump
kicked on
sues
the
everybody. What's that?
Right.
He did get his ass kicked in the club, though.
His son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has a
He got
silver
hurt. He
lining.
had stitches.
Yeah.
So the story has a happy ending.
Was
Then
that
he
on
got
the
an
press?
infection, and that's what happened to his brain.
Wow, I didn't know that story.
Is that you're talking about Donald Trump Jr.?
Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
I'm
He
trying to
lives
find
right
a picture
across
on
the
the
street
internet.
from me.
And the tape exists somewhere.
The headline is in the Post is comedy club clash has Donald Jr. in stitches.
Really?
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
So finally, the New York Post put a stop. They've told Trump to stop, and they've been on his side ever since. And they're like, enough. That's a huge deal. I get the Post every day, and I can't believe if they told him to stop. That's all that's left.
Well, now that article was a little like, you've done everything you came to do. You've had a triumphant reign. It's time to leave gracefully.
They're
Like,
still a little sugar coating it, but but they did say the front page, enough is enough.
Well, he really embarrassed himself at the end. Beyond, I know many people just think that his entire administration was an embarrassment, but now he really looks pathetic in a way that to a level that he never quite looked prior. I think
That's the way I felt. It's the ending. Yeah.
I didn't think he would go this far.
Bad.
To a level that he never quite looked prior.
That's the way I felt. It's the ending.
No, I'm on a delay, I guess.
But I think we're gonna miss all the of the drama. Like he is like constantly every night there's something going on, you know. Like we're gonna go back to normal. It's gonna be so boring.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
It is.
Everybody's up for boring for at least a year, probably.
It won't be boring. We'll just be able to think about stuff that's important again. Every charity.
There's still going to be still every night a different cop's going to kill another black person. Every night somebody's going to steal somebody else's cell phone and then accuse them of, you know, it's just going to keep going.
What were you writing?
There's a lot of depravity in the world already without Donald Trump.
On that note, have a great 2020.
Esther's trying to communicate with a.
Yeah, I see that. What is she trying to say?
He said we should open a comedy club in Fort Lauderdale.
Esther has a sign that says "Help me." She doesn't the whole time.
Juskow, you got to send me that picture from Katz's Deli.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good night.
How does this thing come together? Like what I feel like I'm I'm like in the tent all of a sudden and I'm seeing some secret ritual.
This show?
Yeah, like
this is Hatem. Is the driving force behind this. I just play along. He loves to do these podcasts, and the truth is the comedians love him. They love him more than they love me. Like I could never get Jeff Ross to come on a show for me, but they'll do it for Hatem.
It's kind of true. It's like when you get an email from, it's like when they get an email from the Cellar, it's either about like a W-2 form or a podcast. It's never like your check is here. Where do you want?
Where have you been?
And I'm afraid to ask anybody for anything because I know that as soon as I ask, like it's like in the words of Louis C.K., it's not a request, it's a dilemma. That's what he said. And so if I send Jeff an email, you do my podcast, he's like, oh shit, I don't want to say no, I don't really want to do it, whatever it is. So I never ask. But Hatem can get away with this kind of thing, and if Jeff does it for Hatem, it's only because he wants to, because he can tell Hatem no. So I think it's way better that way.
Well, Noam, what are you doing to satisfy your musical impulses?
Well, I'm struggling with that. It's been one of the darkest parts of the lockdown. I really miss playing with the people that I play with every week, and I've been giving my son guitar lessons, and that actually is nice. He learned to play a few Spanish melodies, and he learned to play Jingle Bells, and he learned to play Danny Boy, and I accompany him. And this, and music can be very simple and still very, very satisfying, just to be playing something. So I enjoy that. My daughter's learning piano, and I play with her a little bit, but nothing serious. I haven't been recording or anything. I miss it.
I wanted you to play on the show on Tuesday, but you said Zoom is no good for that.
Well, you wanted me to play with somebody, and it's impossible to synchronize that as far as I know.
I guess.
Music needs to be synchronized.
Maybe we could do a pre-produced one and just
Colin's been doing, because Colin, that's his livelihood.
Yeah.
The other thing is that playing music with somebody, it's being in the same room with them. It's the camaraderie of it. It's hard to explain it. It's not the same. Even if it was perfectly synchronized, it wouldn't be the same. So
I think comedy would be like something like pumping mics will be harder.
What do you want to say, Andrew?
I was just curious. I've been working on with a band on a live stream. And we've been sort of playing around with different ways of doing live streams that are, COVID friendly and all that stuff. And so the other night, my partner produced a live stream with with John Bellion, who's a very popular artist right now. They sold 7,100 tickets at $75 each for a live streamed event with no audience. And it was beautiful. I mean, the quality of the music is amazing. The quality of the video is amazing. You've got to think it through. in a different way, and maybe you have to, deal with that in comedy differently because of the critical nature of the audience. But I wouldn't rule it out. I think I don't know what you guys have thought about in terms of like being able to do a really high quality live stream might be an interesting way.
Well, that's $500,000, right? That's a lot of money. What day is New Year's Day, Liz? Friday we're doing with this guy Mustafa, who has a company called Mint Comedy, and Mustafa is like Dave Chappelle's right-hand man. He's doing a 3-camera live comedy stream from high def from the Village Underground, New Year's Day afternoon. And it's for the first time he's charging like $7 or something. And it's kind of a pilot thing. And the last one he did, which was free, was as good quality as our Comedy Central show was. It was excellent. So, yeah, maybe all these things. I mean, I look forward to the fun of doing them. And if they make money, that'd be great. I'm very skeptical of being able to repeat. Like maybe one time people will buy a ticket. I'm very skeptical of a long-term thing where people will buy tickets to live streaming comedy. There's so much free comedy out there. They're already paying.
People will do it. If you have an audience, Noam, people do it. I guarantee people will pay $20. You'd probably get over 100 people if you get 5-6 comics on the lineup. Do it Zoom style. The host could talk to the comics like it's a podcast in between. People would pay it. I'm telling you.
No, maybe 100 people, but to get.
Ian, can you get closer to the microphone?
No.
What do you think, Andrew? You think there's a sustainable model like that where people pay week after week?
I think so. I think so. I think it's a question of of really figuring out the model, because you don't need 1,000 people to laugh to feel like there's a community. I don't know exactly how to do it, but I've watched it now with a couple of bands who have really big followings. And if you can do it right, and it doesn't feel like that Colbert show where it's like dead, where it's like he makes a joke and then it's nothing. There's got to be a way to do that where there are enough people in a Zoom where they're watching it, they're laughing it. You see the peanut gallery in a way that gives you a sense of the audience reaction. It's got some advantages. In terms of music, it actually in some ways is better than a live show because you really can hear every nuance in a way that, I think could be sustainable. I can imagine it.
All right, Liz, get on that.
Right now.
People with money feel guilty right now. They want to spend it.
I think if you do a specific channel, Noam, like Comedy Cellar channel, that would work. So people don't go for a Zoom show, but they go to the channel where there's different options, and people can pick from it. But it will have more. It will be more like a Netflix, but comedy specific, maybe. But I think
attendance for charity.
It has to be really. I mean, they did do the John Bellion thing had a big charity element to it, and they thought they sold 4,500 tickets. They ended up selling 7,100 tickets. And it was like, it's like an hour-long show. They got $540,000 for doing this for an hour. It's worth experimenting and getting it right, even getting it wrong a few times. It's powerful.
That's a lot of Ian's rent checks.
Yeah, please, and it'll help me get a new microphone as well. I think it'd be great.
And another tattoo.
Just a bigger room so it can be further from the microphone.
Andrew, I don't know if you'll be able to check, but I'll send you and I'll send Jeff a link to this thing that they're doing on Monday from the underground. Only if you're interested in it and maybe you want to, critique it or something like that.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see it. I mean, did anybody watch it was unfortunately it was on that silly Quibi, which died. But did anybody watch Jason Reitman's Princess Bride?
What?
All right. So Jason Reitman loves The Princess Bride. And he decided that he was going to do something very specific for the medium. And so for Quibi, it wasn't actually a short form, but he basically figured, look, everybody is in quarantine. Everybody's dealing with COVID, but there are all these celebrities that are home doing nothing. So he went around, he took the script from Princess Bride and he went to like 100 celebrities, everybody from Javier Bardem to Paul Rudd. And he gave them all apart. And he said, if you love Princess Bride, you're going to be the prince. You're going to be the princess. You're going to be, and then they had and they had to shoot it themselves on their iPhone, and they had to do it basically in their house with whatever they had. Some people really dressed up, but everybody learned the lines. Everybody really committed to it, and it's great. And I like did the Paul Rudd part with him because but we literally did it like in my house. It's so good, it's so effective, and it was just specially made for the medium, and that's why everybody kind of embraced it.
I saw the dummy, the Anna Kendrick one on Quibi. That's the only thing I had seen. I hadn't heard about the other thing. That sounds awesome.
So it's really good, Princess Bride, and at the end, like Carl Reiner play, like there's the Rob Reiner part at the end, and then Carl Reiner, who was in the original, like he comes back in and he does his part at the end, and he had just passed away, so it was really incredible. It was very emotional.
Well, who is he in the original?
What was Carl Reiner's? Wasn't Carl Reiner the?
You mean Peter Falk?
Or maybe Carl Reiner did I have to look it up. But anyway, it was beautiful because Carl Reiner maybe Carl Reiner got cast to do it, and he was just so good in it.
That seems like
so
fun.
good in it, and he had just passed away.
I didn't even
By the
hear
way,
anything about that. It's kind of weird.
Andrew, what was your prediction on Quibi? Were you surprised to see it tank, or you thought it was gonna?
No, I really wasn't because they had done Quibi like a million times before. It was way back when I remember Doug Lyman made this thing called Nibblebox, which was like a special thing for the brand new internet, little pieces of content specially made. There were like a zillion of those things, and I wasn't surprised that this one was just the same thing with much higher expectations and much bigger budgets.
When you started Movie Phone, did you start with a grand big rollout, or did you start small and it grew big?
No, we really started in LA. We started just to see if people would use it. And instead of doing like a big ad campaign, we just passed out little wallet cards at the movie theaters, because we figured, look, if we pass out 1,000 wallet cards and 50 people call us, that could be a business. And so little by little, we could figure out very quickly that people were in need of that service because the phone started to ring. And then I remember we had a phone number you used to be able to call into, and it would be like Mr. Movie Phone. Then you'd put in a code and it would say, at 8 p.m., you have received 27 calls. And I remember thinking 27 calls, and then within a few months, it was you have received 130,000 calls this hour.
Wow.
It was
the one
you
with
could tell
that.
it was working.
I press 1 for, that was the one.
Yeah.
Oh, how awesome was it when Seinfeld did that episode? You must have been clicking your heels.
Why don't you just tell me the movie you want?
Who is the voiceover guy? Who was the voiceover guy that did that?
His name is Russ Letterman, and he's a very cool guy, and I'll be happy to invite him to the next one of these Zooms.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
He's really funny, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this is really a piece of trivia about him that's true. He grew up in Idaho, and his mother was the time lady.
Shut up.
Oh, my God.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
The what lady?
The time lady. At the tone, the time will be.
Oh, okay.
Time, 40.
How did that happen? That's too crazy.
That's classic.
That's
and his sister is Siri.
So that was one of the reasons I was skeptical of Quibi, was because it seems to me these big, huge investment, grand idea plans flop all the time. And the ones that really do well, they start out with not too ambitiously. They test the water, it grows, they're able to adjust and make decisions based on trial and error information that comes back at them that they never expected, and they grow into it, and they're able to be. And I know from my experience, nothing ever turned out the way I first envisioned it. But by starting out small, I was able to optimize. And by the time it got big, I had it all under control. But to start out big and to have the arrogance to think that you're going to figure it all out on the drawing board, that's really hard, I think.
Yeah, it's all, I think it's everything is all the little learnings, it's
That's right.
Look at the amount of time, I know all you guys do this, but the amount of time I see Jeff like working on a joke, and then I'll go see him the next time, and I'll go to the Cellar, and the joke will be a little different. And we all know that, that was the case. I mean, certainly that's been the case with George Carlin, and people that just, all that tweaking is where the magic is. People
great
think
analogy.
it's like an overnight success, but it's not.
It's a great analogy. Imagine you write a whole hour set in your living room, and you just do your hour set in front of the whole world. I mean, it can't possibly go well unless you're very lucky. I guess it happens.
Go ahead, Jeff.
The best version that I've done of these live streams was on Christmas Eve. I did a favor for Elon Gold at the Laugh Factory, and because the comics, Craig Robinson, Tiffany Haddish, Alex Edelman, me, Alonzo Bowden, we were on a stage, and in front of us were 3 sets of monitors, and people paid a premium in order to be the front row, to be seen by the comedians who were performing. So you had families sitting around on Christmas Eve, and Elon it was mostly a Jewish themed show, and because I was on stage, I felt like I was actually performing and could see laughs in real time. And if they unmuted themselves, you could hear the laughs. So that was the closest, I think, because the venue was from a proscenium, a stage, that it felt like a show more than like a live show with laughs, more than like what we're doing on a Zoom, sitting in your house.
Yeah, I think whoever's going to figure it out first is going to be a big business, how to do this.
But to answer your question, somebody brought up like, will people pay, money for a live show, like, a live stream? What they are paying for is premium content on Patreon and OnlyFans. In other words, they don't sign up for a special event. They sign up for
Repeated.
something they can watch whenever the hell they want to when you happen to post it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the comedy channel would be, something you pay, and just monthly there's updates, or daily even jokes, and 5 minutes.
If you made a Comedy Cellar OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah. A different foot every day.
Are there, besides Big J, are there any comedians on OnlyFans?
I don't
I mean, there are some comedians that don't tell jokes on OnlyFans.
There's some comedians that are on OnlyFans for sexual pictures.
Right.
What?
I've never heard something sound less sexy in my life. Sexual.
Louis Anderson's tits for $10 a month.
Hey, Noam, can I borrow $10?
There's something else about the comedy thing, and this may be just a lack of ambition on my part, but for so long, my whole life really, I saw myself as selling an evening out. It's not selling comedy so much as going out to a club, having drinks, something to do with your evening, socializing, all that. At the point where it becomes just presenting the comedy, I don't really see what I have to offer in that equation. Like, the comedians don't need me to stream. Go ahead, Andrew.
I would like to answer that. I think that these things need to be curated. And I don't see you as like a presenter, God knows the food at the Comedy Cellar is not why I go there. All due respect, I love it.
That's fine. Yeah.
But it's not my mission to go there for that. It's my mission to go there because I know there's going to be a curated experience that will have a minimum level of quality that's higher than anybody else anywhere near you. And that's, I think, a function of the cumulative effect of all these smart comics, all having respect for each other, and you coming, the history of it, all the experiences of being there and having come away with a great night. So I think you bring a lot to it. And I think that's why the brand is so important. And I think there's a way to do it. And I would say that while I agree that recorded stuff or Patreon or being able to watch it whenever you want is good, there's another thing about the comedy that's so critical, which is the danger. What is somebody going to say? Are they going to say something crazy and outrageous that's going to get quoted the next day? Once it's recorded, I know that's been removed. So I kind of am like, one of the reasons I'm there is because like, whoa, what could happen next? That's the live quality of it. That's why it works with music, because you're like, holy shit, that guy just played that guitar solo. He may never play that again. There's something similar about that medium for comedy.
All right, yeah, and actually the curating was part of the frustration I had with our TV show because I wasn't really able to curate. But this week we could do something. All right, Liz, let's do it.
Well, why don't you
I'm getting a little juices flowing here.
2021.
2021. So last thing, let's do a prediction for 2021 and one thing that you learned from 2020. Who wants to go first? Dan.
What that I learned from 2020?
And one prediction for 2021.
I learned from 2020 that the next time Italy has overflowing emergency rooms, we need to shut this whole fucking country down.
You know they're on a full lockdown again,
right
right?
now.
Naturman.
I didn't know that, but the point is we did not heed the lesson of what was happening in Italy here in the United States until whatever. I don't know how much that would have helped considering they're still, but anyway, in other words, what I'm trying to say is we got to figure out how not to let this happen again.
Okay.
So that's not really anything I learned, whatever. I'm delirious. I'm tired. My prediction for 2021 is full. I agree with Noam that the vaccination is going to be rolled out quicker than expected. And I predict full Comedy Cellar opening. Be there on March 15th, where Modi will host an evening. A welcome back to the Comedy Cellar.
All right. I like that. Boris.
Good.
Except for the
First of all, I think all like Hasidic Jews, everybody who didn't give a shit about it right now, we're gonna love them filling up the Comedy Cellar, filling up like these are gonna be the first people to like go and see shows. Everybody who didn't give a shit that spread the virus the past year, they're gonna spark up the economy when this shit opens.
They're gonna be the first responder for comedy.
Yeah, I think 2021 Hatem's gonna meet a nice Jewish girl who's gonna recognize the Jew heart that they implanted in him.
Thinking that Carol O'Connor was in that movie.
Liz.
Brian Koppelman tweeted that Carol O'Connor was 54, his last season of All in the Family.
That's it.
54, his
You
last
seemed older.
season.
Jesus.
You feel old now, Juskow?
Yes, that's
Think about
crazy.
Oh,
my
Brimley was 53 when he played like an old guy about to be dead in Cocoon.
All right, let's go.
What did I learn? I mean, I learned to slow down, I guess, this year. This was the first time I've never worked really in my life. And I think next year is going to be what Naturman said, you know, everything's going to come back. I think people are going to be very excited to go out and enjoy themselves. And I think we're going to be busier than ever.
All right.
Can I say? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Noam.
I just think 2021 is going to be fantastic. I think that everything's going to come back. I think that the politics are going to calm down. I think that it's going to be a very happy year. I would advise everybody to be more careful than ever right now. This is the dumbest time to catch COVID, given the fact that there's a clear light at the end of the tunnel. I'm just very, very optimistic. So that's my prediction. It's going to be very.
What did you learn from 2020?
Be like the Roaring 20s.
What I learned?
Yeah, one lesson that you learned the most.
Well, I
besides counting on Liz on everything.
Idiot.
I had lessons reinforced about how fortunate I am. That's really, you know, I feel very, very lucky, to be honest.
Ian?
Something I learned from 2020, it came up to the wire and I learned it today. Marry a Hispanic woman. I feel like that's the way to go, you know.
It'll make your podcast more diverse.
I think Noam nailed it. Something I look forward to is I'm just echoing what everyone's saying. Is I really think 2021 is going to be a year where I mean, I was naive. I thought when the pandemic hit, I was like, wow, hearing ambulances and truck bodies building up in trucks, seeing people in masks, we're really going to put our differences aside. You know, like who's going to get mad at what someone says, you know? And I was wrong about that, but I hope the future holds happiness and health for everyone. And we all come together and support businesses, support comedy, support arts and entertainment. And I just hope I get out of my house more and my podcast becomes successful so that I don't have to have a heart attack the next time comedy goes away. So that's what I'm hoping.
There you go. Andrew?
What did I learn? I think I learned a very important lesson, which is that because I've been living upstate, you can order pastrami from Katz's Deli. It comes in a special package. You can freeze it, and then if you use a boiling bag, it really comes back. It's really good.
Wow.
That was very big for me,
Good.
sustaining me through this period of time.
You know, they deliver to LA.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
they do. I know that.
Boy, you said went to your boy fighting in France.
Well, I don't want to spoiler alert, but Andrew, I know you love Katz's Deli. I sent you a salami that arrives on New Year's Eve.
It arrived today, my friend. It was on my mind.
Awesome.
What about one prediction, Andrew?
I mean, I think that comedy is coming back very big. I don't know if I'd give it March, but I think, July, August, I think comedy's coming back big because it's so desperately needed. People are going to come back and be laughing with a level of hysteria that we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. Also, big fan of the Jinx, big fan of capturing the Freedmans, and obviously bumping mics. Honor to be here and have you shit on me for my microphone. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Andrew, should we invite you to
prediction?
future shows because you're a great addition? I don't know if you like to do this sort of thing.
I love it. This is like a super fun opportunity for me. It goes far away from my normal life.
Leatherman guy with you, you said. The Leatherman guy.
Yeah. I'm going to bring the Mr. Movie Phone next time.
Oh, great.
That would be amazing.
Oh, Jeff, what about you?
What did I learn?
Yeah, and one prediction.
For years, it's in the year of quarantine. What did I learn? I learned, I used to, whenever I would fart, I would always cover it up by coughing. Now with COVID, whenever I cough, I cover it up with a fart.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
What about prediction?
Prediction. I think Joe Biden's going to do a good job.
All right, Manny, do you wanna say one thing you learned? No. Yeah, he wants to.
Did you learn anything in COVID, Tom?
No.
He's very tired. He's very tired.
I didn't learn anything because I already knew it all because my dad taught me.
What about the plexiglass?
That's perfect. That was perfect. We end on that.
What a way to end it.
He is, yeah.
No, teaches humility.
Keep putting up that plexiglass in Daddy's restaurant.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been awesome. Unless anybody want to have final thoughts.
Nah, we've done that.
Listen, we should all say this. So just in case anybody doesn't know, at the beginning of this year, Hatem was in a hospital bed. One of the hearts had fallen through. He looked like he wasn't going to be able to get a heart. Somehow he got a heart. Then, first of all, this guy never changed his demeanor. He was always cheerful, always happy. I don't know how he did it. You make me cry when I talk about it. But he got a heart at the last minute. Then the surgery went well, only to find out he caught COVID immediately after the transplant. And at that time, it really seemed like that could be a death sentence. He didn't even let that get to him. I spoke to him on the phone. He was optimistic. He was cheerful. And here he is in one of the worst years in modern history.
And he saw Modi live.
And the man is recovered from a heart transplant and COVID in 2020. And that's remarkable. And yeah, he deserves a round of it. I'm so happy. It's one of the greatest things about this year. And I learned something from Hatem, I'll tell you, about just
thank you.
How to keep your head about you and how to remain optimistic. It was really heroic is really the word.
Thank you. Well, I guess, if there's one message, I'll tell the people that watching and listening, become an organ donor. I was a professional soccer player and look what happened, So
it takes 2 seconds. So please do it. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's
He's
changed
still
all
wrong
of
about
that.
Israel, by the way, but go ahead.
I think I have a Jewish heart now, so we'll see.
Is it true? I heard you got Ellen DeGeneres' heart.
Well, we all can't wait for the new project for the Comedy Cellar, the channel that Liz gonna do.
All right, you're doing it too now. That's it.
And it's gonna be
that means I'm
awesome.
doing it
And
too.
guys, thank you very much, and I am so happy that I'm spending.
Let's start a company. He takes all the credit productions, Liz.
Part of Hatem Productions.
Yeah, that will be awesome. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and happy New Year and happy holidays and all that.
See y'all in 2021.
Wait, who
Happy
else was
New Year.
real quick? Who else was on? Run it down. I want to know what I missed
Who was on
tonight.
Norton, Colin Quinn, Modi, Jay McBride,
Marina, Rogell, Sherrod, Voss, Norton, Metzger, Vecchione, and everyone we see here.
Kurt Metzger, Judy Gold.
Judy, yeah.
How many
It
hours?
was so nice of y'all to come together for my birthday. Thank you so much. It was so kind of you. December 31st. You're just the sweetest. Thank you.
Happy birthday. He's a millennial, but he looked from the 70s.
Yeah. And really thank you everybody for doing this.
I love all you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Happy New
for
Year,
asking
guys.
me.
Happy New Year. It's been great to see everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, wait, you
I'll
guys
have
want
one
to
for
stay?
you.
You want to stay for one treat? What before you go?
Sure.
One quick treat. It hopefully it won't take me but a second to do it. Users, Noam Dworman. Let's say get up. And
Oh, it's Stevie!
that's young Steve African.
That's one of my favorites.
What? Look at him.
What?
So
How can that be?
That's Steve. That's not his roommate. That's Steve when he was young.
That's Steven Beavis.
That's Stephen Peven when he was young. Yeah.
Don't call me Stephen Beaven.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's great.
Andrew, you're a director. That's as handsome as any movie star, isn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a good way to end. Good
Who's
night,
he with?
everybody.
Who's he with? Is he with Jim Florentine?